Welcome everybody. This is CBSI presents Tales from Flipside number 35. I'm Dino. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, son. Boys, introduce yourselves.
What's up, guys? Brian, Superman's Comics, and well, crap. I don't have much to say. Goliath season 2 came out on Amazon. I just started watching season 1, so I got that to look forward to, I guess.
Oh, correction. It's 36. My bad.
Yeah, 36.
Blowing it.
Fuck it. And the fucking chat's all fucked up. It's gonna be terrible.
We went back to the future.
We did.
All right, this is
It's terrible.
Yeah. And y'all need to watch Barry.
Oh. Another show I gotta watch?
Yeah.
Damn.
Bill Hader's a hitman. It's pretty good.
B-Dub's here. Yeah, waiting for that electric bill to come around with all this heat. AC's blasting. Hope everybody had a good Father's Day. I know Dino didn't answer the phone. Got a couple guys who go blackout.
Brian McClay out here in Arizona, and all these pussies crying about heat, and I'm sitting here. It's 6 p.m. and it's 103 degrees out. So
yeah, you don't have humidity though.
Nah, I don't give a shit.
We have like 98% humidity.
120 degrees. It doesn't matter about humidity.
My dad was just out there in like Tucson and driving all around Arizona for a wedding, and then
Nightmare.
Went to like Tombstone. Was calling, talking me out, telling me all about. Asked if he saw Val Kilmer.
Cool, 68 degrees in my attic right now.
Yeah, the fucking AC's blowing down in the basement. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, feels good in here.
I can't believe I fucked that up, though. I can't believe I fucked the numbering up. God damn it. I feel bad.
Can we change the title on YouTube later, or is it permanent?
Let's just start over. Is anybody listening?
Matt King, but who cares?
What's up, Matt?
No, fuck it. Who cares?
Took a Molokai on that one.
Yeah.
Let's just start over right now.
I did the old Phil Mickelson. Can I just stop it and like hit my ball again?
Oh
like,
my god, what an idiot! But did you? I don't know if did you see where that ball would have ended up though?
Oh, I would have ended up like 40 feet away, 50 feet away. It would have been ridiculous.
Stupid how far away it went.
Yeah.
That was a fucked up pin placement.
Well, you know, the funny part is all the old timers are like, oh, you know, hey, he's a fucking cheat, blah blah blah. It's like whatever, man. It was brutally hard, anyways, about the U.S.
I'll
Open.
tell you what, that was a smart play. Take your 2 strokes and get the fuck off that course.
And it's
You're
funny.
not cheating. You're not trying.
Well, dude, and the funny part is if it's like 5. I mean, what is it? Was Phil gonna miss $5,000 because he went 25th to 26 or some shit? He doesn't give a fuck about that.
Yeah,
he's got more money than anybody.
He would have had to fucking chip the next shot.
But anyways, we have on the outline number 2 is some Nick Hart shout out. Who's a Nick Hart? No, I'm joking.
I wanted to give a shout out to Nick Hart. So every year for SDCC, NECA has they've just been doing a Ninja Turtle exclusive, and I missed last year's, and I just haven't bought it because I don't want to pay $100 more than what I would have paid retail. But Nick helped me on their pre-sale. They release some, I think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and that's it. But they are releasing this year 7-inch scale 1990s turtles. So they have a set of just the turtles and their weapons, and then they have a set of the turtles, the weapons, and this diorama. So Nick and I were both on their website because they sell out in like 60 seconds. So we're both on their website trying to get a set or get one. And he's like, yeah, if I get one, you know, it's fine. You know, just pay him for it, kind of thing. So he helped me snag on one of the dioramas. So just want to give him a nice shout out. Nice. So otherwise, would have had to go down the scalper route, and they're going for, I don't know, like $400, and they were shipped. It was $266.61.
Jesus, you boys and your statues and shit, man, ridiculous.
Yeah, somebody's got a big statue to talk about.
I know, it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait.
Epic.
Hey, I got a shout out. Can I give a shout out? Shout out time. We need like a little.
We need that air horn that UD has.
Tune or, but so I was cruising. Had my kid at a doctor's appointment every Wednesday. I got to take him to a doctor. So I sit in the parking lot for an hour while he has his appointment. Now I was in the browsing eBay, and I had like an impulse buy because I saw that Fiona Staples the Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man #1, 1 in 50 variant, which I wanted since like it came out, and I thought at that time like, oh, it'll drop. Never dropped. So I saw a 9.8 on there, and the price was decent. I was like, oh, that's good enough. I didn't even look at any other prices, and I just, bam, I bought it. So then I looked, bought it. I started scrolling down to look who I bought it from, and I recognized the eBay seller. And it was another seller name they go by, and I was like, I knew that. So I sent them a hangout, and of course it was Big Leggett, big old Sean. I said, hey, man, I think I just bought a book from you. He said, yeah, you did. And he's like, why are you going through eBay? I was like, dude, it was impulse. I was like, cancel it for me, and I'll just, send you friends and family or whatever. And I was waiting for him to reply, and he said, hey, he's like, I canceled the order. And he sent me another eBay link. He's like, buy it from these guys. It's even cheaper. And I think, it's in the newer case. So that's a cool ass dude. Always looking out for people. He could have just canceled it, and I sent him the friends and family, and he sent me the book. Instead, he gave me a cheaper alternative, newer case, and then said, hey, it's all good. So I want to give a big shout out to Big Leggett. Always looking out for us.
I need to talk to that motherfucker because I should have charged you double. God damn it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
God. No, Big Leg's the man, dude.
That's the special polycarbonate casing. That's worth another $85.
Yeah, that's what the group's all about, man. We help each other.
I was trying to hook Paul up by selling my third print ever at the Spider-Verse #2, but
I'm still thinking about it, man. I was too busy today.
You're too busy.
It's a good price, though.
It is a good price.
What are you trying to sell for, Dino?
Like $50.
Are any of those third and second print Edge of Spider-Verse books getting hot too?
No, not really.
Not really. I mean, for Paul, I hooked him up with a fam and friends price. That family love price, whatever.
They are now because we got 8 people watching.
Oh, shit.
Buy them all.
It really blows me away that Raw, that book is going for as much as it's going for. That's unbelievable.
I remember when it first came out, I literally laughed. And I was like, this is a fucking joke. Spider-Gwen? What the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I sold my land for $100 and thought I was the big winner there.
A lot of people probably did that.
Yeah.
Dude, I bought back in at a huge high price. And
there he is.
So
what was the high price, Z?
I bought in last fall at like 800 for 9/8, thinking, shit, that's crazy. But then all of a sudden they jumped again.
Did you sell it again?
I still have 2 of them. And
9.8?
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
I look at your listing every day. I hope you know that.
Mr. Koi freaking wrangled one away from me, but
Oh,
that was before those. I had 3.
you had 3. Koi is a regular.
Mr. Koi has a book I saw. He has a Loesch 23 I saw.
Yeah.
Koi's got a lot of good books.
I toy with it, but then he's going to want to trade, and then he's going to win again. He always wins.
Yeah,
even
don't
if I
trade
think
with
I
Koi,
win.
man.
Yeah, that's the #1 rule. I already gave you cash. Give him cash, motherfucker.
Oh, I know. I don't trade. I can trade anybody else. Koi, no matter what I do, I am going to lose in 3 weeks.
That happens.
The other
Hey,
book jumps, my book drops. Doesn't matter. He always wins.
Just tell me, just so you know, just tell me what you traded for so I can snag some copies on eBay before the jump.
Either that or sell what I got in return.
Yeah, I could do that. It's easy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't need another Loesch, but I want one.
I
need
don't have one, dude. I never had one.
I have 2 of those too.
I won one of the last Razes.
Oh,
I know you, bitch. It was nice. That was a good ass win too.
Yeah, I needed that. I was on a pretty bad losing streak.
So boys, I went to this comic and toy show this weekend. I hit up Brian McClay for every G.I. Joe action figure. Knowledge I could get before I went.
That must have been annoying.
Oh, it was terrible. He's like, you're an idiot. I'm like, I know. So basically, it was pretty small, like maybe 10 vendors, 15 vendors, maybe. And and I saw some same guys I've seen from other shows, like 2 or 3 guys, 2 big dudes. I got that Plastic Man 1. That guy was there. A couple other guys. A lot of action figures and like box set stuff. I just couldn't. Yes, there was no good stuff. I mean, it was like no 3 3/4 G.I. Joe stuff. I bought like an Incredible Hulk 182 for like $15. It's a reader's copy, no Marvel value stamp, and a coloring book for my boy Leg. This Master Universe coloring book, which is badass. Even though I did just see the Skeletor one, and I'm kind of jealous, and I really want that one from him too.
I wonder if Big Leg has crayons.
I don't, who knows? Well, he's got his little niece, so maybe I don't know. It was okay. It was $2 to get in, so and 30 minutes of my time. Yeah, I mean, to go there 30 minutes. I mean, I think I paid for parking was like $4. I mean, so
How many dealers?
Like maybe 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it was mostly toys and stuff, and it was like some guy had like a big like Jason statue and some other stuff, and the same guys I see at every other con were there, like comic wise, and it was overpriced stuff. Some guy had a Saga 198 at $430 or $440. I mean, he's like, it's slightly above GPA. I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm not buying it, bro.
By slightly, you mean 40%?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, he had some good keys. He's like, hey, Dino, you want to look at these boxes? I mean, he had 3 boxes under the table of keys, and I looked through them, and he just, I don't know. I mean,
you're not there to buy overpriced shit.
Yeah, I mean, he had like a New Mutants 98 that was probably near mint, maybe. Not even, probably VF near mint, maybe a 9.0, and he had like 300 on it or something. I was like, eh.
Yeah, you can get a 9.4 graded for that.
Yeah, so I was like, eh. But besides that, I mean, it was an okay show. I met Sean out there. Sean Weirgarden was out there. We hung out. We bullshitted for a little bit. I randomly bumped into him. I didn't even know he was going to go there, but so we just hit it up, and he bought some stuff. I bought some stuff, but overall it was meh. So just saving my ducats for Baltimore. So.
Yeah.
Oh God, is that getting closer than I think it is?
Dude, I can't wait. Super stoked.
When is it?
I think it's like almost 3 months to the day.
Is it September or October now?
It's September. It's end of September.
I gotta probably clear it with the boss lady.
I wish I could
clear it yet.
Yeah, you haven't booked it yet?
I kind of forgot about when it is.
Oh, buddy.
Sounds like an excuse coming up.
Hey, Coy, you're the Coy of the podcast. You're gonna go, damn it.
Yeah.
Don't go coy on us.
I guess
I would like to make that Baltimore trip one of these years. And
why don't you come out with us?
I really want to do it. So I gotta. When is it again? When did you say it is?
End of September.
Yeah,
September 28th.
So I got a little bit of time to try to make it happen. It's all about work.
Flip some books, bro. Flip some books, and then take that. Tell your boss, man, you got some real shit to do.
Yeah.
So I
got some money.
I think I'm okay. I gotta just make sure.
Hey, maybe you can lug all your 35 long boxes there.
Yeah, get a table, man.
You can flip some bottled water.
Yeah, no shit.
I need
That
them to
dude
be
will
sold
stab
by
you
then.
if you get on his turf.
Oh, I might have booked a show to go to that weekend. No, never mind. That's the next weekend. Okay.
Somebody added Action 1 for auction on
Somebody
eBay.
jumped the gun.
I just did. I just saw it. The Sparkle City Comics has a raw. They're grading it a 3 up, and I'm like, well, I appreciate it. Why would you not grade it? Just
Yeah.
What kind of price is it?
Right now, it's sitting at 125.
Oh, it's chump change, dude. Let me let me read.
125K.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like $125.
I think I read there's a restored 0.5 floating around on one of the auction houses too.
It was a Heritage, maybe.
Maybe I don't know. I saw that one and I saw this one. Like, wait, that's a different one.
That 8.0 went for like $2 million.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's
I mean,
8.5, and honestly, that's not a bad deal considering the 9.0s went for $3 million. Change.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you can't imagine that half a grade is that worth $1 million.
Nope, you got one of the 3 nicest ones.
Yep.
And the other guy, and the 9.0s are owned by the same guy that owns each of them. So,
and he ain't selling them.
Was one of them the Nick Cage one?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it somebody famous who owns them?
I have no idea who owns them, but I just
I think it's a Metropolis guy.
Oh, God! I wish I was that rich. I don't know. Maybe it'd be a problem.
He owns some amazing shit.
Dude, they have
just be able to buy an AF-15.
So wait a second.
Those guys that ordered all those books, years ago, and just were sitting on inventory 5-10 years ago, just have made mint.
You guys, here's one on here's another one that we didn't talk about.
Yeah, I mean that's something that I don't regret because you can only spend what you have, but I wish I spent more back 5 years ago.
I wish I was not a pussy back then.
It's a 9.0 for $615,000.
What is that? Oh, restoration.
Oh yeah, restoration. Yeah, I mean, okay. At that point, let's talk about this. Would you care if it were restored technically?
As long as I paid an appropriate price, that book I would fucking buy.
All right, I got a question for you. You know, money's not an option. Would you rather have that or a Tech 27?
Tech 27 all day.
Action 1.
Action.
Superman's
I'd say Tech. With me.
iconic. Superman's so iconic. When you think America, you think apple pie, Superman, and you know.
Yeah, but that Tech 27 cover is dope, man. I don't care. I mean,
well, doesn't Batman almost always outsell Superman overall?
Yeah, but right now Superman still wins by a tad, but there's no Batmans in the 9 range. There's no Techs in the 9s.
I guess it's I guess it depends on grade too, but I mean, yeah, that Tech cover is just dope. I mean, I do it for the art. I mean,
let's just say like a
truthfully,
5.
If you can afford one, you'd buy both. If you can afford one, you'd buy both.
Well, that's true too. That's true too.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You know, I only have enough for one of them.
Yeah.
I'll just have to wait till next week, and then I can buy the other.
I know a guy. He has about that money. To be honest with you, dude, he makes like $200,000 a fucking week, dude. This guy's crazy.
Good for him.
Yeah, no shit, man.
I mean, if you were to just say you were to find one in the freaking attic, I would want the action. I think it's just more.
Oh yeah, for an attic find,
it's more Americana. You're right. I think that's whichever one of the Brian said that. It is. Since you were a kid, that's the book you're like, that's the coolest book ever. And my kids are like, they understand what Action 1 is. Tech 27, most people understand, but just not quite the same level.
Yeah.
Paul's wrong again.
Nah, I went Tech 27 too. Yeah.
I went Tech 27.
I just think it. I mean, yeah, Action 1's hard to find and stuff, but Tech 20, I just like the cover.
I like Batman way better.
Yeah. I was never a big Superman fan. Just Batman, dude. Yeah. So
I'm with you, but I still think just the Americana is what will always make that book popular.
Do you want to skip number 5, or do we want to wait for him, or do we want to talk about it?
I don't know if he's coming on.
Okay.
I think he's coming on, right? He said he should try to be on after. I say we wait as long as we can. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Okay, we'll skip it. We'll skip it. Okay, so number 6 is I put this one on especially. Number 6. I cannot wait for this conversation to start up.
Yeah.
So I guess my man Scotty's getting back into cards because of this very, very grateful podcast.
Brian and Ben on this one.
Oh Jesus.
It's your guys' fault.
So what's going on, buddy? What are you collecting nowadays? What have you been watching?
You know what? I'm keeping it local, and I'm going with Carson Wentz rookie cards.
Ooh,
nice thing to be picking up.
I think it's a safe bet.
I think so too.
I mean,
you know what's we were talking about this, in the chat a little bit, and one of the things that it made me think of is, I think a lot of us people who are part of this hobby, we are just collecting. You have that collecting bug also, you know what I mean? So it's very easy to jump from cards to comics to toys, action figures to, whatever it is. Just that collecting bug is such a strong pull, and it's really easy to jump back and forth. You get tired with one, you jump to the other one. You get tired with the one, jump to the other one. On top of also being able to make money, constantly thinking, okay, I can make money on this.
Those chrome refractors got me.
Oh, they're beautiful, right?
Awesome. Yeah, dude. There's some really cool cards out there.
Being able to get the whole rainbow, they call it the rainbow, where you get every single one.
Yeah, not yet.
That's called Skittles.
Yeah, there we go. Well, there's some really cool stuff out there. I was gonna bring this up a little later on, but I think it's perfect place to bring it up. Is I went down a YouTube rabbit hole that is probably going to cost me some money. Start looking up. I
don't know if I want to look it up now.
Yeah, there's guys who go on YouTube and they buy like old unopened wax, like graded packs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've talked about this before, but I'll just go over it real quick. The reason we call it wax, unopened card packs is called wax, because back in the day they used to close them with wax. It was a wax seal, and the package had like a waxy film on it. So all the old school unopened stuff, baseball, football cards, whatever, is called wax. It's just a nickname for it. So any unopened boxes or cases. So there's guys that go on YouTube and they'll buy like a graded 1967 Topps baseball pack, and they'll crack it right there and they'll open it up, and it is just as addicting as collecting the cards as watching these things. And there's some pretty cool stuff. 90% of the time, the guys don't get anything good other than pristine cards that are, it's very rare to get cards that are like, pre-1970 in such good condition. And these guys are pulling, these pristine cards, but there was one I watched the other day where a guy opened up a 86 to 87 Fleer basketball pack and pulled the Jordan rookie.
Wow.
It was cool, man. But unfortunately, it's going to end up costing me some money because I went and bought a case of unopened Fleer basketball just to go through the ripping. It's the later series. It's the 90-91 set, but still I got like 20 unopened 20 boxes and 2 rack pack boxes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So that's going to keep you busy for a few hours.
What's in there of value?
Well, there's not much in there of value other than if you get the Jordans PSA 10s, but it was cheap enough to where I could probably sell some of the boxes and make my money back, and then just or hand them out Halloween if I want to. But the reason I bought them is because they were there, and I wanted just to have something where it was cheap enough I could just open them, and not give two shits about what I'm opening. And,
like wax would scare me though, because how do you know it's not tampered?
That's a very good question. You got to know what you're looking at, especially with unopened cases. You're making sure that the tape seal is there, and with unopened cases, it's a little bit more easier. But the best way to look, if you're looking at like a really old single pack, is it's very hard to refold the wax package. So if you see double fold lines, it's about 90% chance it's searched, and it's pretty obvious when you see them. There's actually videos on YouTube for that. So
like if I were wanting to go balls out and open a expensive pack, is there somewhere I can buy it where I would feel trusted?
Yeah. There's a place I want to say it's in Ohio. Look it up right now. It's called Baseball Card Exchange. They are the leader in the industry.
You'll pay a premium, but you will get what you pay for.
Exactly. And then so that's the best route you're going to want to go if you don't want to buy them already graded. Actually, it's in Indiana. So
it's right there. I could just go.
Cherville, Indiana.
Okay.
Cherville. So anyways, and they got that is like, for me, that is like walking into, the best comic store in the biz. They're the kings of wax. They've got everything. You can think it. They've got it there. But there's also what most people are doing is if they want to open up old school wax, they actually just buy graded packs from PSA or there's only 2 companies that do it now. I think Beckett might just be starting to get into it, that grade unopened wax, but it's PSA and GSI. Oh God, I'm spacing on the other one. PSA and
PGX.
No, it's GSI or something. God, I can't believe I'm spacing. Anyways, it's the lesser of the brands, but you just crack them just like a graded comic.
I saw a Craigslist ad in Northern Michigan for baseball card collection, and he said he had a certified JSA authenticated Barry Bonds foil card. I don't know what the grade is though.
Cool.
I don't know. I don't even know what that means, but
if I just wanted a cheap thrill, I'd buy myself some 89 Upper Deck and just open the shit out of those.
Oh,
Boxes
that
are like
is
$90. I was actually looking.
I was already googling.
well. It's funny you say that because you're right there. If it BDC Baseball Card Exchange, man, I guarantee they have that on hand. You just go in and they authenticate every box you buy from them. So.
Don't
Well,
make me save this to my search.
Weren't the Upper Deck foil?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So you can't search those.
Yeah, I remember that. Those were so cool when they came out.
Yeah, they had the holograms in every pack.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I walked into a flea market, and there's a guy that had a bunch of cards in there, and he had a whole monster box full of just the holograms. So he must have, broke open cases.
Yeah, I don't know what to look for. I mean, I had to like sit there and retrain my fucking.
Oh man, now I just found there's a sports card shop in town.
Yeah, you're in trouble now, Zay. Welcome to the dark side.
Guys, I didn't want to
Because
do
what?
this.
It's a little bit cheaper than comics, so it's like, this isn't that bad.
There's a sports card place by me too.
Move to comics where you have no like sense of it's wrong to buy this price.
Yeah,
I think that's the fun part.
I'm too high with comics right now, where it's like
something new.
Yeah,
I can drop $500 on a comic and not think twice.
Exactly.
It's funny,
Brian. The parallels, are they worth anything, or is it just a gimmick?
Well, the parallels, is that what you're talking about, like the different colors and the
and then like the numbered
No, that's what everybody's chasing. I mean, that's like our variants. It started with what they called inserts back in like the late 80s.
Okay.
Fleer started putting in like all-star cards, they call them, or and so it was like you get like 3 a box, and then that insert craze took off and became the numbered inserts, and then that became the parallels. So like it's become the store variant racket of sports cards.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking.
Because you can go to what's that?
You know what would be awesome is if they get nostalgia and all those Donruss Diamond King cards become like parallel and everyone keeps searching for them.
Remember
they do
that
it now.
they
do
those were
the Diamond Kings and the Gridiron Kings. They do them like foil and refractor and.
Well, back in 91, Donruss got super hot because they came out. They released a baseball set, and they you can only get the Diamond Kings like one or 2 a box. So they were really hard to find, and it became like what everybody was searching for. So
yeah, those are cool.
Funny you bring that. Bring that up.
I remember 1990 Donruss, the red with the black speckles.
Yeah,
he got like crap load of Roberto Alomar Diamond Kings, and I was like, dang it.
Oh, Roberto Alomar.
I love going onto the chat and Scotty's on there motherfucking me, Damn, Brian freaking get me to buy cards, and I'm like, oh god.
Now I'm on Baseball Card Exchange looking at what they have.
Z's gonna be saying the same thing pretty soon.
But it's all about the chase. It's really like I was really excited when Dino said he was going to this, toy show so he could. And he called me up asking to look for, what you should look for G.I. Joes. And it's like, that is the fun way to do it, is to go into these small shows or these flea markets or, all that stuff,
I'll tell you what, I haven't been able to find a card store around me.
Yeah, they fell to the wayside.
And I live in a big city.
Yeah. It's, that was my dog. Sorry, she's excited.
It's usually mine, dude.
She's excited at getting you guys into the baseball cards.
Yeah.
And how about that Mike Trout?
Like, go back.
That Mike Trout rookie's on fire right now.
Man, Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, Chris Bryant. There's like that group, like every other year. There was
Mookie Betts is another one that's going to be up there.
Baseball is so crazy. I don't know. I know Wood and Ben were talking about the Topps Legend set.
Yeah,
but baseball has become. I talked about it a while back, where it's really hard to play the rookie game in baseball because
Yeah.
They usually stay in the minors for a couple years, and you just end up forgetting about them.
There's nothing exciting in the unopened wax in this card place.
What's
gonna
that?
excite you?
The one that you talked about.
Oh, baseball card exchange.
There's no like ones that I'm like, I need to go buy this.
What would be an example of something you would need to buy?
I don't know, something that's too expensive that I shouldn't open that I want to open.
Well, they don't
You
put
should open
everything
like the Immaculate Football or something like that. The $500 box.
84 Fleer Donruss
4
baseball.
cards.
I tell you what, they got an 80. They usually don't put everything that they have in their store on their website. You know, they usually try to save a lot of stuff for the big national show. But for me, I think the ultimate would go to be able to walk in, put $20,000 or $40,000 down. You know, like if I had money to spend like that, like it's nothing, and open up a box of 86, 87 Fleer or 80, even 87, 88 Fleer. Those old Fleer basketball sets were just, to me, that's the ultimate wax opening experience, other than, you know, pre 1970 anything. And they got it there.
Does I mean, it's been a long time since I looked at Beckett, but Beckett used to have like the bigger card shows. They used to have them in like the back of the Beckett.
So $200 a pack
For what?
for like the 86.
Yeah.
80.
Yeah.
I'd get
Yeah.
that.
Doesn't sound too expensive, Z.
No, it doesn't.
When it comes to card shows, there really isn't that many anymore, man.
Right.
It's kind of like comic shows. It's
I beg to differ.
in your little towns. You're like in Phoenix. There's a group that does a show every month at like, you know, like some hotel or something. But there isn't as many like big card shows as there is comic shows. I can tell you that. There's like the National. There's one in California that they do. I mean, that I know about. I mean, I'm not as big in it anymore as I was, but
Like the right dude. That's every state, every
One of the
every show.
Yeah. One of the best card shows I went to, shoot, this was like early 90s still when I was actually collecting. But when Camden Yards first opened up and they had the All-Star game at Camden Yards, like that weekend right before the All-Star game, they had a huge card show there.
Oh,
yeah, those are always the best. Like I remember my favorite card show that I ever went to was when they had the Super Bowl here in like 96 or 97 here in Arizona. And they do every year for the Super Bowl, they do a Super Bowl card show, like NFL Experience Super Bowl card show, where players will just be walking around and you get all kinds of freebies. And, you know, it's almost like the National, but more football based. And I imagine they do that with, you know, like you said, when they open up Camden Yards probably with the All-Star game. I know they have a major one for hockey every year, the National in Canada, and that's something that I could see myself, you know, one day trying to get to.
Yeah, they have a big one every year up near Dulles Airport over there on that side of DC. Because they always get it. There, of course, they advertise more like sports memorabilia, but it's also a big card show.
Yeah,
Like players and stuff doing autographs. Of course, a lot of Nats and Redskins, and then they'll have like Tony Romo, and people will be, all the comments will be like, "Fuck Dallas," and
you know, it's funny because a lot of things that I see nowadays are like people selling their bobblehead, you know, things they got from when they go to a baseball game, and it's turning into like the the Jim Lee X-Men run when X-Men first came out. Now you just see like bobbleheads everywhere. People trying to sell. How many people were selling toys at that show? Was it mostly comic vendors or people selling toys, do you know?
No, people selling toys.
And was it like newer stuff, older stuff?
It was like older stuff, but it was like things I wasn't really like. I saw a couple wrestling figures, but they weren't like they weren't the thumb ones. They were like the ones that I grew up with, like the Ultimate Warrior ones and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Jax Pacific, is that what they're called?
Yeah,
Jax?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
some of those are way up there in price.
I didn't see anything that was like uber super great. I went through it twice and was like, like nah. I can, And then they had and another thing I didn't like is I understand it, but they had like big tubs full of stuff. And I'm like, I don't really know too much about this. It was like $5, but I seen the guy I know, he sells comics too, and he had the same tub for like the last like 25 shows. So I just figured that it's all been picked through probably already. So.
Yeah, that market is kind of just as insane as the other two. The grading, the AFA grading, and the mint on card stuff, and I'm sure that's being really taken over now by the Funko Pops and all that stuff.
That's a good documentary on Netflix about Funko.
I think
I
Pops
started. I
are
didn't
going to
get
last,
that.
I think.
It's actually really good. I thought it was going to be more. I don't know.
They have every goddamn license you could think of. Like
that was their plan, my man.
Name a toy that has as many licenses as them.
Lego's close, but
that was pretty much that guy that came in and bought it from him, though, right?
Yeah.
Because the original guy was mostly bobbleheads with licenses, and the actual Funko Pops came from his buddy that came in and bought the company from him.
Yeah. I'll make your $100,000 company into $1 billion. No big deal.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just watched the Lego toys that made us just like an hour ago with the kids, and that was interesting.
Yeah.
Another good documentary is 30 Years of Garbage. It's basically the history of Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
Yeah. I couldn't. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. I got sick of looking and paid like the $6 on Amazon and just bought it to watch it. But it's really good. It talks about how it's based a fuck you to Cabbage Patch Kids, and it talks about how the lawsuit that went down and how they had to like change the look of the art a little bit and had to change the Garbage Pail Kid to an actual banner from what it would look like more like the Cabbage Patch Kid logo. But yeah, it's a good it's about an hour and 15 minutes or so, and it has like some of the people from that show, the Goldbergs, because I mean they're all about the 80s in there, but yeah, it's really good.
You know what's crazy about the Garbage Pail Kids is they've kind of reinvented themselves with the new Tops. Tops is putting out the new ones. Me and you kind of talked about that, Wood, when a couple weeks back. But what's cool about what they're doing is they're doing the whole thing, like Tops Chrome sports cards kind of did, where they're doing the parallels, and you can get the original. They also do it's like a mix between cards and comics, because they have the original sketches, like a variant parallel where it's the sketch, variant parallel where it's like an updated version of the ones, so it's like they do the whole variant theme. But one thing that really was cool for me is when they first put out that first new set, and basically all it was the anniversary of the 80s of the series 1, and they did the chrome version of them, so they just reprinted them, but they had the chrome and the foils and all the parallels. And they actually I got really lucky and I bought like a little. They're not even a full box, but the ones you can get like at Walmart or Target. I forget what they call them.
The $10 5-packs or whatever.
Yeah. And I opened I saw them for the first time. I was like, oh, I got to get this. So I bought one, and I actually scored a autographed on-card autograph of one of the main artists, who's also, I don't know if he is like one of the main guys that came up with the whole thing, but his name's John Pound. And he actually autographed some cards, and you can get them random in there.
That's pretty cool.
That documentary, they have the director guy that basically relaunched, because it went up to like series 15 or something like that, and I forget, late 80s, and it kind of stopped. And then it has the guy that came in, like relaunched, and and then it goes through how he did the whole Chromeo, and then started basically a new series again and everything. It's a good documentary if you like Garbage Pail Kids. And of course, watching that, I got the bug and I went on eBay and I bought that. Was it the whole I Hate the '80s set that just came out for like $16?
Yeah.
So then I went and had to buy top loaders to put them in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
I'm gonna have to go buy some top loaders.
and then in September they got another series which is like basically horror movies.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So I went and I was like, well, I don't want just the regular box. And I started looking and I got like the hobby collector box that has more parallels. And
Yeah, you're always going to be able to get a better chances at the inserts when you buy a hobby box, and that's kind of like the opposite of what happening in the comics business. Where like, you know, the card business, they want card shops to stay open, so they make sure that if you buy stuff at a card shop, you got better chance of getting cool shit. Whereas in the comic business, they're starting to sell, you know, new books at GameStop, so they're doing the exact opposite. They're trying to, I don't know what they're thinking, but
Yeah.
Now
I
you
mean-
got me. Now you got me into cards, dude. Jesus Christ! And it's like I'm thinking like maybe I should trade my comics in for cards because it's like it's not as much room and storage, and that's terrible, man.
Yeah, I mean
Nah.
that's one of the things I'm thinking about because
I just eBayed unopened wax and started with the most expensive, and I'm working my way down to what can I rationalize with myself? I won't cry if it's terrible the idea.
You see that 85,000 for that 86, 87 Fleer basketball set?
No,
Well,
I didn't do sets. That's why I did unopened packs.
yeah, sets going for like.
I
8
just
grand.
never have good luck with wax.
well, if you just keep it and you don't open it, then you can always say, hey, there's something in there. I just
I'd
don't
have
know
to
what
open
is. Oh,
Have to.
Yeah, dude, I can't.
it's like
not-
Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah, what are you gonna do, man?
Yeah.
I'll go crazy if I don't open it.
There's a Jordan in there until I open it.
yeah.
Exactly. And then as soon as I open it, there is no Jordan. It's like the fucking Matrix. There is no spoon.
When when you were showing me the Garbage Pail stuff, the first thing I thought of, and I had to go find on the internet, was the movie. I had to go watch the movie.
Horrible
Remember
movie.
the old Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh
movie?
my god, that was terrible.
I think that gave kids nightmares more than anything.
So the documentary, they talk about the movie and they got the kid that played in it, and they talked about how basically, you know, Garbage Pail Kids, it just blew up, and how they were like, we got to put everything out that's Garbage Pail Kids. And it's kind of like they made it sound like it was basically like the ET game for Atari is what the Garbage Pail Kids movie was.
That ET game was garbage too.
Yeah, I just remember in the Garbage Pail Kids movie the one kid who farts in the trumpet or whatever.
So yeah, they even have like some of the what's the PC way, the little people that played
Yeah.
in the movie. They had them in there. I mean, if it's I mean, I paid like, I think it was like $6 to buy it on Amazon or whatever, but to me it was worth it. I mean, it's actually a really good documentary. I'm sure you
Yeah,
can watch
that's
parts
really
of it on YouTube, or I searched on other places, but I got sick and I was like, you know, it was one of those nights where like, screw it, I'll just buy it.
Big
Yeah,
spender
it's
over there. Big spender.
Yeah.
$6 on a movie. Wow.
I used to spend that at Errol's.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Now, what do you? Ben made that poll today, this week, about what store variants should do. You know, a lot of people said, you know, take a cue from sports cards and number the comics. What do you guys think about that?
I want to, before we get into that, I just want to shout out to Scorpion Comics.
Okay.
Did you guys see that on Instagram? They actually they had damaged copies of Venom 2, I guess, and they posted a video of them burning them like in a fire pit.
It's not hard. It's
So
not fucking hard.
I got to give those boys props. They said, you know, it's the smart thing to do. That's what they said.
It is.
So,
I mean, I hate when these places say, "Oh, it's limited to this," or 600 available. Like, okay, what are you doing with the other 400 or 1400 or 2400? Because I mean, you
so I didn't want to cut you off. I just want to give those boys props because we
Yeah.
talked about that and we were kind of.
I mean, and you know what? Good
Goes
for
along
them.
with the question. I think it's very important to talk about this because I really think that it's gonna really hurt the comics industry. I could see it being like the domino that starts the free fall. It's
Scary.
really bad. It's
Yeah.
bad, man.
And then they get the incentive variants on top of that from Marvel.
They're just flooding the market, and then one of the few things that was like really helping the market was the incentive variants. It kind of became that thing that pulled you to the comic shop, and now they're dirtying the actual. They're dirtying the incentive variants with how they're dealing with it, and then they're just oversaturating the market with. It's kind of a bummer because for people who like the covers for art, they also use it like I'll buy a book just because the covers kick ass. I might not. I'll probably not even read it, and it's all about the art. Well, now it's kind of taking that away because I know you could still buy the book, but it also made it cool that there wasn't a ton of them out there, and it was kind of that collecting bug. You scratch that collecting itch at the same time as getting cool art.
Can I go on a rant for a second too? Because I was at this I know this is gonna be terrible. I was at that comic show, right? And one of the guys I bought one of my big books from, he was there. And he's like, hey, I know I don't have much here, but I got I came up with my own store variant. He goes, you should buy it. And he showed me the cover, and it's like a Catwoman cover. And then I'm like, Catwoman and Batman. He's like, yeah, this one's a 3,000, this one's a 1,500, and this one's a 500 Virgin. I'm like, I'm gonna pass, bro. So I told him. I felt bad, but everybody's getting into store variants, man. I mean, this guy's like I don't know.
The Beanie Babies of comics now.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm really not in the store variant. She's like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, dude. Like,
Well, that's the other thing. Like, everybody's jumping on that bandwagon now, and the people who are thinking it's going to make them a ton of money are going to jump in heavy on it, and it's starting to take a shit right now. So I could see a lot of people getting really disgruntled because they put a ton of money into this new, guaranteed money or money making, scheme, as what I call it. And they're just going to be stuck with hundreds of copies of these.
Supply is going to outweigh demand here real soon.
Yeah, and you know what? Even for me, like the guy who's all about money, like I understand getting your own money, but I mean, it's like, it's like, I don't know. I mean, there's some kind of wishy-washy things about it, but it's like, yeah, would I make my own variant copy for like our store? Like maybe. I mean, but I don't know. It's just like.
Well, we were talking about the numbers in a chat one day, and I think it's like $10,000 to start base to get your own Virgin and all that crap together. So I mean, you're going in heavy at $10K.
Well, that's why they go in with like 6 different stores, or
right. Yeah, but if you're a guy out of the blue, I mean,
yeah.
Well, the other thing is that a lot of it's funny to watch the article on the Batman Catwoman wedding variants, and every day new. Okay, I think I'm getting close to being done with this. Nope. The next day is 5 more he's got to add on.
Yeah, it's stupid. I'm not buying a single one.
Some of the art is getting so bad. That J. Scott Campbell art for that variant is some of the worst art I've ever seen. Not just worst J. Scott Campbell art, some of the worst art. It is his Joker for that cover is reaching Rob Liefeld, Captain America, crazy chest.
I was just thinking that. That's exactly what I had in my mind.
And so it's watering down these great artists, and they're just putting out so much shit that they're the quality. They don't have quality anymore.
What was that? The Batman, the comic years ago. I think Campbell and Darwin Cook did together. It's got Joker on the front. It's not as bad as the. I mean, it's like a $3 comic, but I just picked it up because at the time, I mean, Campbell was big, but not like.
He 16. Did What was the one where it introduced Cassandra Cain? What was that storyline?
I'm gonna look it up now.
Yeah, it's like 701 or something. There was also the same storyline that had the first in continuity appearance of Harley Quinn, where the cover is just Joker sitting on a chair. I can't remember what that storyline is called, but J. Scott Campbell did a Joker cover for that, which isn't too bad. But it doesn't sell for a ton or anything, so it's not like these 50 Batman whatever number 50 variants where his rabid fan base is getting so out of hand that a set that's selling for $120 of terrible art is going to be on eBay the next day for $400 or $500.
And speaking of rabid fan bases, did you see Greg Capullo at Denver Comic Con? Did you see his line? Somebody shot a video of it. It was like 600 people deep for Capullo signatures. It was crazy. And I saw, I guess Sia had a big line too at Denver Comic Con. So,
yeah. Batman 563 was the one I was talking about. J. Scott Campbell cover.
Yep, and that's the one I was talking about too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where it's kind of looked like, I don't know, Joker, Prince dressed as Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, remember when a Del Auto cover was special?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what made it fun collecting, because you'd be like, oh, this artist doesn't do too many DC covers. I'm going to pick that up. And then next thing you know, it's like, boom, we got this exclusive. Like, Matina's hand's got to be falling off pretty soon.
I mean, good for the artists, though. They're 50% getting paid.
50% of the cover B's just for DC. Suicide Squad, yeah. Justice League, Flash, Deathstroke.
It's crazy.
How much do you think these guys are actually getting paid?
The artists?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the guys getting the DCB covers, I mean, they're just getting standard rate probably. But they're getting a ton of work, so.
I'd be interested to see what Matina makes for a cover.
I do like how they're giving like the colorist credits on the cover now, also not just the artist.
The penciler, yeah.
Yeah.
They should. I mean, the colorist adds a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, because I get pissed off when it's like the higher incentive's the sketch. I'm like,
yeah,
that's half the work.
And then it's always like nobody ever wants the sketch. The color almost always sells higher than the sketch.
Yeah.
That Jim Lee, what was that book that just came out where the sketch cover is just so gorgeous and the
50
colored? What is it?
You got Batman 50 has a Jim Lee.
No,
sketch.
This is the one with the Batman who laughs and he's got the two Jokers. And he there was an article on it on Comic Book Invest. And it's not a Batman
Immortal Men
title. Yeah. Yeah. And
Immortal Men number 3.
The colored version is the faces on the Jokers are totally different than what he sketched. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
No, I've never seen it.
It's unreal. And the sketch is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous.
Well, Dino, you still read comics, right?
I'm trying, baby. At least one.
All right, tell us about it.
Yeah, I did. I'm still on the Oblivion song kick. Me and Paul riding, dying on this thing.
How's that going, Paul?
They read to each other.
I try to. Paul's AFK. He doesn't care about us anymore. So yeah, I mean, we're at what issue? I think issue 4 or 5. I think it's 5. I think I linked Paul it. I think it's 5. It's just it's good. It's just trying to sit there and I'm just trying to get the old it's issue 4. Just it's kind of slow and the issue was kind of short. There wasn't much dialogue. So I started giving away the plot, I guess. I mean,
I didn't give a chance to read the
issue. Of course you didn't. The only topic you're part of, and you didn't.
I can talk about how bad Barrier was. God.
No, that's your problem.
Is
I
it
mean,
bad?
Yeah.
because he doesn't know Spanish. It's his problem.
No.
No, seriously, is Barrier bad? Because I have like all of them right here, and I haven't read them yet.
Oh, let's let Dino finish first.
Okay. So I started talking about the plot. So we started talking about it. We're 4 issues in. I think we should,
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, whatever. So basically the guy's trying to find his brother. This is what it's come down to, is like his brother he thinks is still alive on the other side of the portal, I guess you want to call it. So basically it's coming back that he gets like kidnapped by some people in this 4th issue, and then so they find out, they're like, oh, we're gonna take you to see your this guy named, what's his name, Paul? What's his brother's name?
I don't know, brother.
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so he goes and he's like, oh, is that him? And then it kind of leads up to, it's been like 3 issues talking about his brother, or 2 issues, and it just hasn't happened yet. Maybe I'm just too antsy, but hopefully this next issue they should talk about his brother and
so how much shorter was issue?
It wasn't short. So
were pretty.
Yeah, it wasn't shorter. It was just no dialogue. It was like a lot of pictures. It just was a quick read because there was like, you look at the pictures and then like 2 words on the page, and I mean, I understand why they have 14 issues already written, 50 issues already written. I mean,
so Scott, I don't know. What do you want me to hold back on Barrier? Do you want me to just let the first issue have it, or
spoiler alert? Come on, do it, buddy.
Go for it. I mean, if it's not worth reading, I don't want to read it.
I don't know. It depends what kind of stories you're into, but this one just seemed like, well, first of all, I really pulled it up, if you can believe that. So I got it for free comic book day and just didn't realize, and then just it was lost in the shuffle of everything. So then I rebought issue 1, and then I found the free comic book day one.
About right.
Fuck. So they got me twice. Well, the first issue was free, but still. Anyway, it wasn't worth it because it just, first of all, you got to turn it sideways, so it feels like you're reading the Sunday paper, which is kind of cool. And they're trying to go for a gimmick, I guess, which it's all right. But then, like Dino said, like there were tons of panels, like pages. So they go to a different scene or a different like character, and it's all in Spanish. So the word bubbles are in Spanish. I'm like, that's cool, but I don't speak Spanish. Maybe have a translation.
I'll translate it for you, buddy.
Yeah. But
is that a printing mistake?
No.
It was on purpose. Like it takes you to a different part of the story, but the characters are, I don't have anything against the Spanish language. I just can't read it. So I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with these panels?
You don't know what espetazo is? Come on, Jesus.
Right.
Well,
I thought it was funny because we always joke about just looking at the pictures and not reading the words, but now I had no choice but to just look at the pictures. And then,
but the problem is they're in like far Texas. So I mean, that's having Spanish on a border town like far Texas.
Yeah, I don't care that they're Spanish. I want some some accompanying bubbles that I could read.
You think they should have footers on there, like translations at the bottom on the footer?
Yeah, something. But so it just made me angry. I don't know why. I just felt like I wasted my money. But in the end, I mean, I don't know. Do you care if I spoil the last page, Scott?
Go ahead, man.
So on the last page, this guy who I think he jumped the border and doesn't speak English runs into this rancher who's trying to protect her land from cartels and all that stuff. So she pulls a gun on him and is yelling at him, and then all of a sudden they both just start floating up in the air into some big green cloud alien ship thing, and that's the cliffhanger at the end. And I was like, I don't know. It's just kind of like, what the fuck? It didn't make me want to buy issue 2. Is the thing.
I have some bad language in here too in Spanish. Fuck yeah, dude.
I love how
Spanish didn't make you want to buy issue 2, but you bought issue 1 twice.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm reading it online.
I love how I'm reading the chat in the YouTube, and Weapon X Squall says, "I tried to use a phone translator."
Oh Jesus.
Oh shoot! Was that the Google chat where you tried your best Spanish? You spoke your best Spanish into it, and then it spat out the English. I tried to use that one time, and it worked fine when I was by myself. But then when my buddy and I took the Uber down in Miami, I tried to use it, and it just didn't work. He looked at me like I was a complete idiot. It's like it worked fine before. I would like to be able to, ask the cabbie to take me wherever I want to go, but whatever.
You're spoiling a whole nother Paul's problems you haven't even got to yet.
No, that one, yeah, that was it. I got to make up for last week's too. I jumped out early.
I'm actually gonna read this. I think it'll give me my Spanish back. It's really good.
I don't know, Scott. If you get into it more, let me know. Maybe if I see issue 2 on the rack, I'll flip through it.
Paul, just so you know, garage means garage, dude.
I just hate how they're bigger than a normal comic.
Yeah, they stick out the top.
So.
I collect old shit and I hate that shit, man. When you buy something that doesn't.
Hey,
fucking fit.
this actually, speaking of old shit, is there a graded comic book box that will fit CGC magazine slabs or not? Because I've been on the hunt. Yeah,
not that I know of.
Yeah, not even sideways. I don't think, because they're too tall.
Correct.
It's a pain in the ass having a magazine size.
Yeah. What do you?
I gotta throw them sideways, like stand them like sideways, and only get 10 in there maybe. Like your Cerebus, Scotty. I kind of just do in a separate box and kind of laid it on the side and was like.
And you just put them without a lid on, right? Otherwise, it's just.
No, I could throw them sideways or
like the long way sideways.
Long ways. Yeah.
I cracked one of my 2 on accident because it was stored just out in the world, and I fucked it up, and I'm pissed off, and I'm not going to reslab it. It irritates me.
What about like a record storage box or something, or is that even?
I don't think it's tall enough.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently, I don't know.
First world problems.
Right. Woe is us.
It's got to be something that people use. I imagine maybe checking on I hate to keep talking about the CGC forums.
Yeah, if anybody knows of I don't care what company it is, BCW, I couldn't just, if there's a box meant for magazine size, please let me know. I would love to get one. I'm sick of storing all my magazine size graded turtle books just flat on top of each other.
Maybe you could maybe I'll do some digging. Maybe there's a box that's not a traditional box in a sense that would work.
I could buy some wood and videotape myself trying to build one.
I could build you one probably.
Yes. No.
Stand in the box down with the slabs in it.
I'll tell you what. We'll start a Patreon if Paul does it.
All right, I can't wait.
Oh shit!
Can I sidetrack because Paul mentioned BCW?
Mm-hmm.
I did find out. I don't know if it's an all the time thing or whenever they're offering orders over $80 free shipping, and I obviously am purchasing a shit ton of bag and boards lately. It was the best deal I could find by far.
Yeah. That they offer that pretty much all the time, especially if you can buy those BCW comic bins, the storage bins.
But like I've been trying to hunt down Amazon everywhere for bags that are cheaper or boards, and board shipping just kills you.
Yeah, the boards are crazy.
Speaking of magazines, we were talking about magazines. Does Baltimore on-site magazines?
I don't think so.
I was told no.
Okay, because I got Vampirellas that I might just bring them and give them to you, Scotty, at one point, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, Z or Dino, if you guys send in like a magazine reholder a lot, maybe we could get together on that. Why
do you need a reholder?
Huh?
Why do you need a reholder?
There's new labels, but then I think one of mine
is not new labels. They've never changed the magazine holder.
Oh, so they're still using the old CGC label on the magazine ones? They didn't upgrade them?
Not the brand old one, but the one that was used for like 10 years, the middle one. As far as I know, it's not updated the case.
Oh, I thought they updated across the board.
No, I did magazines a year after, and it was still the old one. I've yet to see a new style case in the magazines.
Oh, well, then I just have one that's cracked, I think.
I got a cracked one, but it's not worth it. Unless that book fucking peaks, and then I'll just sell it cracked.
What else was next? What was on our podcast? Little statue review, Mr. Brian.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
So I tend to buy. Well, it started in 2014. I started buying some sideshow stuff. So I started with right when Guardians of the Galaxy came out. I bought the Rocket and Groot. So I've been buying stuff ever since. But recently, about a year ago, I pre-ordered the Thor Avengers statue because I wanted a Thor statue that wasn't Chris Hemsworth. I wanted like the traditional Jack Kirby or Walt Simon, the traditional Thor, not the movie Thor. So they came out with this Avengers premium format figure, which is their name for basically the statues. So I pre-ordered that, and by doing that, it's the only way I can afford them because it lets you do a monthly payment plan. So I paid like $40 down for a deposit, and then you pay like $40 a month or whatever it is till you pay it off. So the good thing about that is you can pay over time. The bad thing is a lot of times the scheduled release date slides a month or two. So you're like ready to pay that bitch off, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, hold up, because we're not taking your payment out yet because it's not being shipped till a month from now." And then it's like the last payment and then $20 shipping or whatever it is. So you always got to make sure you're aware of that. So it came, I was happy. And then I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to do an unboxing video for my YouTube channel. So I took a picture of it by the door. I added some graphics like unboxing video coming soon and threw it up on my Instagram page. Well, and it sat down in my home office for like 2 months. I kept going, I'm going to get around to it doing an unboxing. Well, I finally did it like last week. So it's up. I threw it up on the Tales from the Flip Flop. Tales from the Flip Side. Flippity Flop Flop. Tales from the Flip Side Google Plus page. It's up there right now. And I'm super happy with it. Thing's huge. I mean, if you look in the video, it's too tall. Like I couldn't even get the camera back far enough in the room I was filming in to get like the whole statue in frame because the hammer sticks up. But the Mjolnir hammer has the whole inscription on it, the cape on it. You can mold and flip it and twist it around and sculpt it how you want to. A lot of detail. I mean, I'm a huge Sideshow fan. I have the Mumra statue pre-ordered right now, and then I bought a total of 11 items from them so far. Like I said, I started with the Rocket and Groot 6 scale figures.
I like the 6 scale. They're nice.
I'll get into that in just a second. I bought the Gwen Stacy Polystone statue, which is basically based off the J. Scott Campbell. I bought that because when did I get that? February 1st, 2015. So I remember I was watching the Super Bowl and I got an email that had like some big Super Bowl sideshow. Hey, get like $50 off and free shipping. And I was like, bam. So I just bought that. And then I have the Art Germ Batgirl premium format figure. I have the Michael Keaton 1989 style Batman premium format figure.
Ooh, nice.
Hell yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool because they got him coming down the stairs. I'll take pictures of them and throw them up on the Tales from the Flip Flop Google Plus page.
No, I want a high quality video of them.
I'll get them. You know what? I'm trying to get this room cleaned up so I can do like a little. Hey, this is my comic crack bin. But yeah, I've been saying that for a while too.
That Mumra one is awesome.
Yeah. So I got a Deadpool 6 scale figure from right before the first movie came out, but it's not based. Well, you can say it's based on the movie because it's not much difference in the damn costume. But I had a Superman premium format figure, but it kept getting delayed. And then, like, I guess there was a big strike from the boats coming from wherever they're made, China, and they kept delaying it and they canceled it. Well, I canceled it after like more than 6 months, and I'm like, screw this. So then I bought the armored Batman premium format figure, which is it's huge. I mean, a lot of people aren't fans of Batman vs Superman movie, but this is the armored Batman. The eyes light up in the head.
I have the Mezco 112 of that, and it's friggin' amazing.
Yeah, it's nice. The thing's probably about 40 pounds. It's huge. I got a Wonder Woman premium format figure, which is her with her freaking spear over the back of her neck, and then she's holding her shield.
Nice.
Incredible Hulk premium format figure, which is like the same size as that armored Batman. It's freaking huge. I have a Captain America 6 scale figure. That's a Scott Evans type 1. The Thor, which I just got, and then I have that Mumra premium format figure, which I'm on the payment plan right now. It's supposed to come out in December.
I have the white suit prototype Boba Fett 6 scale.
Yeah. So I love the 6 scales, but if you watch my unboxing video for the Thor, I hate, like, they make it look all easy if you watch their little sideshow videos on YouTube of how they're posing them, or if you look at the pictures, they have all these cool poses.
Yeah, they're
And
not
I'm
easy.
feeling like I'm about to break shit trying to get like these poses. And like the Deadpool one, I broke like the freaking clip that one of his freaking katanas go in.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, motherfucker. And of course, it had a whole bunch of little grenades and pouches. So at this point, most of mine are posed where they're like standing straight up with like an arm in the air or some shit. The Green Lantern 6 scale was cool because it comes with the lantern that actually you can push the button on it and the lantern lights up. But so yeah, Sideshow's great. They have payment plans. Another good thing is they have rewards with them. So when you buy them, once it ships, like 30 days after it ships, you get, depending on how much the 6 scale or premium format, you'll get $10 to $20 or so. I actually have like $180 in awards right now.
Oh, nice.
But I'm saving that for like the legendary scale He-Man or Skeletor, something that comes out that's like $1,000, and I'm like, that's what I'm gonna use. But
What's the legendary scale?
it's like 3 foot, 4 foot. There's a
So almost like one half scale, right?
right.
Wow.
I almost
That's
bought
pretty
the Slideshow. I think I mentioned this a while ago. Slideshow did a one-to-one, a full-size Thor head bust.
Yes.
I almost bought that.
So they have
Are you
all
a Thor
types.
fan, Paul?
I don't know. I don't know, a little bit.
I don't think I knew that about you.
Have some Norse blood in me.
And
I think the baddest ass Thor cover to go find in the world is the magazine format. It's that Marvel Spotlight. Is that what's the first Star-Lord?
4.
It's Spotlight though, right? Marvel Spotlight.
Yeah.
Marvel Preview 4.
Marvel Preview. Marvel Preview 10 has like a badass Thor, like
That was pretty
like
sweet.
you'd see him on a side of a van, like airbrushed badassness. It is my favorite Thor cover by far. So if you were looking for an awesome Thor book to go dig out and find,
That
go
is
find
kind of
that
awesome.
guy.
Yeah, there's a 9.2 on eBay.
I have toyed with a 9.8 as many times as I've seen them, and I keep pussing out.
How much
Wait,
is it?
wait,
9.8.
It's only like $200-300.
Pussy.
so I will tell you, if you're gonna order from Sideshow, when they first announce them, they always usually announce like a Sideshow exclusive, which will come like with some extra accessory. If you can get in on those, it might be like $15, $20 more. Those are the ones you want to buy because those are the ones that appreciate more, like a lot more on the secondary market eventually if you go to sell them. Because there's like, if you look on eBay, especially at just premium format and look at like sold, there's like a Incredible Hulk gray one that sold for 10 grand.
Holy shit.
Yeah, there's a Spider-Man classic retro premium that's sold for 5 grand. Of course, they have a smaller number of produced. Also, Doctor Dooms are up for 4 grand. Another one that goes for a lot of good money if you can find them is there's a premium format figure Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and a lot of people were going after those, and they sell quick. So the thing that sucks is it's almost like anything else. Once you get one, if you buy another, you start buying another, and next thing you know, you're like, I have no fucking, where am I going to put this?
Once you make room for one,
Yeah. So mine
you
has,
make room for them in life.
there's like, of course, like every other place, there's a forums for Sideshow people, and you like, next thing you know, you're down the hole looking for Sideshow displays, and there's all types of cool stuff. So I ended up driving up to IKEA one night and spending freaking $1,000 on
Holy shit!
I was gonna say, is there anywhere to buy displays but IKEA?
Yeah. So I went up there and I bought. Of course, a lot of people are talking about the what's the glass ones? You were gonna buy one.
Yeah, the Dettol for something.
Yeah.
Delto for something.
Yeah. So I went. I was looking at those and I was like, oh, but I got the premium formats are a little bit taller and.
I don't know if I trust him in that glass shelf. Those statues are so heavy.
Yeah. So I went and I bought. It's called like the packs, which is basically the wardrobes, but you don't buy. You buy just the frame, which is solid black.
Yep, I got that.
Then you buy the shelves in it. You buy the shelf separately, and the pins for it. So instead of a wardrobe, you're basically making 3 foot shelves, and they're 3 foot deep almost. Also, so you can fit more on it, and then you can buy special pins that hold the weight more. And of course, you just buy LED strips and run them out the back. I drilled a little hole at the back.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to. People they'll measure it and then they'll order acrylic. Just find some place that sells acrylic, and then they'll order clear acrylic doors for it and put sliders. So then it's like dust free. But that shit costs as much as the damn display. I was like, oh, I just spent damn near $1,000 on 2 displays and shelves and LED and all this shit. Let me look at acrylic. I'm like, oh yeah, it's $600 to cut it. And I was like, no, I bought me one of them little like Swiffer wands, and I just dust the shit out of it.
Exactly. Right.
But yeah, I'll try to get this stuff cleaned up, and I'll take some pictures or video or whatever, and I'll throw that shit up there. But
that's what I want to do someday. Just my place up here is just perpetual in transition. So
Yeah.
someday, purely for John Z's entertainment, I'll do a walkthrough video.
I will tell you that the motherfuckers are probably the display cases. When I sell this house, the motherfuckers are probably going to convey because they were a bitch to bring down in my basement and put together. Like
You hire people to move that kind of shit.
because
You
I
hire
want
college kids.
There's like a 3-inch clearance now between the top because I got like the 8-foot ones.
You hire college kids for that shit.
Yeah.
Because the rest of us will have heart attacks.
And then of course it sucks because any of those bookshelves, anything you put together like that, you're like, oh, this is nice and sturdy. And they always come with that bullshit backboard with the little ass fucking nails.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
And then you're trying to put it on, and like the weight of it's too heavier, so it's like sinking in. You can't fucking nail the thing in time.
I hate those. I hate putting those backs on. They're stupid thin, and
that's
the
the worst.
fucking little thin ass
I
nails.
don't even put the backs in, dude. Not at all. I don't even put the backs on.
You just paint your wall wood color.
No, I just leave it like on my. I got the entertainment set. I just cut holes in the back of it. I put them on, and I learned my lesson. I'm like, I'm never doing that again.
But if you look at
ventilation.
those sideshow forms, people get those cases like that, and they put the back on it. But then they go all fucking out, man. They go out and put like scenery and shit in the back and make like real dioramas. Star Wars is a huge sideshow thing. They sell crazy ass sideshow 6-scale premium format.
That Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
Oh god, I wanted that. It's like $500.
I got a lot of Star Wars sideshow stuff. I got probably about 4 or 5, and then I've got a couple of GI Joe stuff.
Yeah, you can get, especially like Stormtrooper stuff. Sideshow a lot of times will run a sale where you can get like a set of 2 or whatever for pretty cheap.
Yeah, the last Star Wars one I got, I think it was Sideshow. It might not be. It's a Stormtrooper bust. It's from the waist up, and he's a zombie, and it's got different stuff you can put on his helmet, so it looks like he's only got like half a helmet, and you can see the jaw and a couple of different arms you can throw on him. And I'll take some pics of it and throw it up. But the Star Wars stuff, like you were saying, it's crazy, all the cool Star Wars stuff.
They got some cool ass Transformer shit on there too, man. Some awesome Optimus Prime, but it's all about how much you want to spend and stuff. But I will say, as pricey as it is, when you think the shit's big and gorgeous, but once you get it in front of you and look at it, you're like, this is so awesome. I'm glad I spent this much money and hid it from my wife and didn't tell her.
A lot of it holds its value too.
Yeah.
How do you keep that from your wife tracking it? Do you
She
You
just
have
doesn't.
a-
I don't really hide it. I'm telling you, man, the payment plan is the way to go. Because if you sit there and go, "Hey, it's $40 a month," I spend that on fucking dip.
She doesn't even notice it because it's $40 a month. That's just comic spending.
Yeah. Well, we have. I feel like Kevin Hart. The way my bank account setup is, but we have a joint account where the mortgage and stuff goes into, and then we each have our own personal checking account where
That's how we do it.
divvied up bills. As long as our bills are paid, and if the water were to shut off, I'd be go, what the fuck? Why you got new nails and we ain't got no water?
Got no water real quick.
Yeah, and if the lights shut out and half the other crap, she'd be looking at me. You got a motherfucking Thor statue, but you can't see that shit in the dark. But so yeah, we kind of like she's aware.
Yeah, that's true. Probably spending $40 a month versus $500 at a time. She doesn't know how many statues are coming in and going.
Right. But
But
we were
comics. There's some going out. There's some coming in. She can't keep track.
it was February. We were driving down to Tampa to surprise my dad for his 70th birthday, and we got stuck in traffic in North Carolina on 95. And she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "The Mumra statue just went fucking live on Sideshow. I gotta pre-order that." She's like, "You're stupid." I was like, "I don't care. It's live. I'm gonna pre-order it." She's like, "How much is it?" I was like, "It's like a couple hundred or so." Because you still feel kind of guilty because when you sit there and go, "Yeah, it's $480. What the fuck?"
It's $20 a month. It's 20 for
Yeah.
how long? It's $20 a month.
Yeah.
I owe Slideshow $20 a month until I die, but don't worry, babe.
Right.
Yeah.
Do they charge you interest, or is it just
No, they don't. That was just bullshit.
That's
And you
that's
can-
awesome.
You can when you set your payment plan up, you can also pick like when in the month you want it to come out, like 1st, 15th, whatever. So it works out. I know there's
Interest. That's the greatest hoax ever. That you pay before they even send it to you.
yeah, no.
They
There's-
get their
yeah.
money up front.
There's no interest, but
It's a win for all of you.
Oh yeah.
shipping, I mean, of course you're paying for shipping and it's like $20, but it's worth it.
Oh, $20 is cheap.
Yeah. Especially for the shit. Some of those things are heavy as fuck. So, and they come packed. I mean, I've
They
never
better
had a
come packed
problem
well.
where they've been broken or anything like that.
What's your? I was going to ask what your highest monthly payment ever was, if you don't mind revealing
I
that
think
to
the
the
highest
world.
I've gotten is $50.
Oh, that's not bad.
No. And if you're gonna do it, that's why I said, "Oh shit, the Mumra statue went live." When you do it early, like if they just announce it, you can do like longer monthly payment plans because it hasn't released yet. And it's usually they announce it and then it gets released in like a year from the announcement. So like when I ordered that Groot,
So how
and
many
Rocket,
payments do you have going at a time?
I just do one right now. I've had up to 3.
Okay.
I've had like a premium format and 2 6 scales pre-ordered at the same. Not all. I mean, they overlapped. Like one was ending and like 2 payments overlapped or something like that.
So those ones that are worth more or a lot more down the road, do you spec on those and grab one or no?
I tell my wife I do, but really I'm just like I like it. It's cool. You always sit there and defend why you're spending your money, right?
Do you save those boxes?
What's that?
Do they come in boxes that like have an actual display box, or just a black or like a brown box?
It comes in a brown cardboard box, and then inside it's got the box with the art on it.
So
And
do you
then
have
it's
to save
always
all those boxes?
It's always in a styrofoam.
Well, but I'm like, do you have to save all that packaging in your home just in case someday?
I do. I have it basically in a utility closet.
Okay, because that is a space concern at some point because you're doubling the space if you take them out.
I mean, unless you want to trust like those college kids you're coming in to move your shit, So I keep most of them. They're in. It looks like it's a small little closet. There's nothing really in there but some PVC pipe, and I put all the boxes in there.
I'd be that college kid that picks up your box like, what does fragile mean?
Yeah, must be Italian.
Okay. A funny side story. Ozzy visited the fucking Christmas Story house on his vacation this week.
Yeah, they do the tour or whatever.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, I'm here. I want to see it.
I heard you can rent that and stay there overnight.
That would be awesome.
I mean, for a hella bucks, but can be done.
Boys, yeah. Now you gotta send this because I thought at one point the guy that played the redhead bully bought that.
I read something about all of them.
Yeah, something like.
I read that it was going to be sold like just outright, and it wasn't going to be a museum anymore. But
I don't think it probably makes a ton of money.
yeah,
I know the sequel sucks.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Didn't even know there was one.
Yeah, that's why it sucks.
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to this to a seller I ran into. So, do you guys? Does anyone here even try to order from Atomic Avenue anymore?
No.
Very rarely. I mean, I'll give it a shot, but your chances of getting it are thin.
Oh, always. So I took a gamble. Just you can't not try, right? I suppose, depending on the price. So is this guy listed a Losh CGC 9.8 for $48.45 shipped? And I was like, there's no way in hell. But I figured
you hit the button and gamble.
Yeah, every time. So I waited, and the inevitable email came saying, this was a mistake, and Atomic Avenue messed up, and all that good stuff. But anyway, I got to talking to the guy, and he actually knows some people who are apparently well connected in the Ninja Turtle community. So it hasn't all panned out yet, but I got some maybes in the works for a couple rare books that have been on my want list for a while. So I'll keep you guys.
How many Ninja Turtle books do you not have besides number 1?
I
guess there's a lot of random variants, huh?
There's a lot of variants for like the current IDW run, but as far as all the other stuff goes, I'm not sure. That's one of my goals once I get rid of all this other fluff crap is to go through and kind of focus on what I'm missing. I don't think there's too much, but I'm sure once I start digging, the list will get long quickly. But so I just wanted to give him a shout out. I'll probably post his link to his store just because he was really nice. He wasn't like, hey, sorry, this was an accident, blah blah blah. He said, he had the like the Italian variant raw, and he's like, if you want this, I'll sell it to you for the same price or whatever. But
anyway, how does he accidentally list that though?
What did he say? He said he just had his database rebuilt by Atomic Avenue, and they didn't fix everything. He has a 9.8 copy, but obviously not for $50. And
what's he want for the 9.8?
$1,700.
Oh, fuck that.
A 9.8. What is it?
The Supergirl.
That's twice the going rate.
Well, I'd trade him my CBCS for a little bit.
Oh God.
Well,
what's your CBCS cost, Paul?
Huh?
What's your CBCS cost?
If you wanted to buy it?
Yeah.
I don't know. In a dream world, I'd just do a straight trade.
Well, that's not a dream. That's a dream world that didn't happen. What's the real number?
I don't want to sell it. I want to have one. I just don't want to. That's why I was saying I'll just hand the CBCS 9.8 at Baltimore and have them regrade it and roll the dice.
That's a question. I need to figure this out. Can you send a CBCS slab to CGC? Can you send it a slab and they'll crack it and deal with it?
Scott said yes.
I mean, I did it at Philly.
But can you send it into them in the mail to them?
I don't know. I mean, I did it for on-site.
If one of our 4 listeners knows this answer, we'd love to hear it.
I might just do it just for the story.
I have a book I'm afraid to crack because it's an odd-sized book.
And
I'm afraid it'll take more damage in the mail than it will me cracking it,
I have a Turtles CBCS 10 that I won't Like that's just I won't do
No,
that.
that's dumb. Don't do that.
No, I won't. But I have the Superior
bet you-
Spider-Man
I
and the
bet you
Low-
can get a living out of it, Paul.
Yeah, right. On PGX.
Emilio, I'm not a rich guy. I don't have a CGC rep.
But I have the Superior
Maybe Dino
Spider-Man,
does.
and I have the Loesch that are CBCS 9.8s that I don't know.
I'll call for you, buddy. How about that? I'll call tomorrow.
I got a blue tick one that I'm just afraid to crack because there's no bag that fits that goddamn thing. And I just saw one of the 498s come up for a insane amount of money.
I'll call tomorrow for you. You said if you send a CBC, you want to do it on site or just in general?
Just send it in and want them to crack it so I don't have to fucking do it.
I'll call tomorrow. Geez.
It's not even that I don't want to crack it because the CBCS slab's easy to crack. It's that I don't want to fucking mail that odd-sized motherfucking book.
Just send it with us to Baltimore.
I may go to Baltimore, but I don't know if they'll grade it at Baltimore. It's a weird size fucking book.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you
Anyway,
got it by VIP.
The guy's name is Matthew Day. I'll put a link up to his store since he was a cool guy. But
you might want to edit that out until you get your books.
no,
That guy sounds familiar.
No.
Is he a member?
I think he is.
At one point, he might have been a member of CBSI. It sounds familiar.
He's
It does seem to be.
anti-hero collectibles on Atamac Avenue. No, I don't care if I don't get the books. He was a nice guy. I told him I'd give him a shout out.
I hope this hookup
Well,
works.
hey, I just got a text message to people listening. He says they used to reslab CBCS to CGC, but they don't guarantee the grade. They make
I
sure
don't
you
care
know
about the
that.
grade. I just want it to be as is.
Yeah. See, if people listen, they text me, bro. That's how famous I'm getting. They text me the answers. Got my own hotline going.
Well,
Was it
not
your
that.
mother?
Well, here's my thing. I'm like, as a CBCS, it's undervalued of a 9.6. So worst case, if I can get a 9.6 out of it, I'm good. The odds that CBCS overgrade it's pretty thin, and the chance that I get that 10% chance of a bump, I'll take it on the price that it's at.
He's in Glen Carbon, Illinois, whatever you want to call it.
There's only one.
I am pretty sure Mr. Day used to be a member or is a member or has been quiet. That name is too familiar.
I agree too.
Yeah, I think I remember that name.
I don't know.
I know we've been talking a long time, but somebody showed up to the podcast. Mega Matt, what's going on, buddy boy?
What up, dudes?
What up?
Yeah, just didn't know where to jump in, so
I always jump in,
let
baby.
I'll just let it play out.
He's waiting for his life-size Mega Matt slideshow.
Well, it allowed me to eat dinner, so that was good.
Matt, would you buy Sideshow came out with a fucking a Mega Man fucking statue? Would you buy it?
No.
No.
He'd look at it a lot online, and then his wife would say no, and he'd go, "Okay."
There's literally no place I could put it, or no place that would be. It
You
would
live
be
in
allowed.
California. There's no place for this shit. This is a Midwest hobby.
No. Yeah. I mean, maybe like one day if I have like a big office, yeah, that would be fun. But no.
Sorry to kid everybody. FYI, it's thunderstorming I think by me, so if I lose power,
Oh,
I lose power. So, anyways,
Just
what
as
do we
long
got
as you yell
next? Oh, sorry.
An interesting random question to think about. What hero would you buy? What would be your one hero you would buy if you had to buy a statue and you had to display it? What would it be?
skeleton.
Life size?
No, just like a solid size 112, 1.6, whatever. You had to put one up in your world.
Vader.
Does it have to be superhero related?
No,
I've been toying about that Mike Tyson one for a while, man. I have a Mike Tyson one. It's badass.
I got a bunch of the Sideshow did a badass, like I think it's like 12 inches tall, and it's the Royal Guards, and I've got 2 sets of 2 of the red ones and then 1 set of the blue ones, and I just pick them up anytime I see them. Every once in a while you'll see them on like Craigslist or something, and you know they're kick-ass looking.
This one's 1/4, dude. It's $279. I'm just like,
Do it.
oh, I can't, dude. Come on, man.
Do it.
I think I'd have to buy Shazam.
That would be cool. I don't know. I mean,
it's what got me back into comics, honestly.
Really?
I went to a fucking random auction, and there was some fucking old Supermans, a Buck Rogers that I still regret not buying, and like Shazam comics, and I won a Shazam, and it got me hooked, and I'm like, I don't know, it just did.
I love shit like that. Everybody has well, not everybody, but a lot of people will have their, the first book comic they got, or at least remember what it is and will rebuy one, or that's what they buy every time they see it.
I pulled probably 20 books out of this fucking big ass collection I bought that I remember having as a kid. Like, they probably got destroyed, but I saw the cover. I'm like, oh my God, I remember this one. And I just set it in a box. I'm like, I'm keeping it. I don't care.
Are you ready to piss Scotty off? Scotty, look at the chat. They got a Darth Vader one. It's only $5.30, man.
Where?
On the Sideshow. It's dope.
Is that the premium?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And on a side note, I am honestly seriously considering collecting Hulk 102 to 200 because I am starting to think they're the most beautiful covers in the Marvel collection.
Are those the box? They're like they got a border around them.
It's not all of them. I have found so many that I'm like, oh my God, that's a great cover. I don't know if it's because Hulk's green and green's such a standout cover and they had so many mixes and it's so diverse. I just keep looking at them like, man, I fucking love that book. Like old Spider-Mans, I do not find that attraction to, but old Hulks are starting to get me. I just may collect the run from like 102 to 100 or 200.
Maddie, that's badass, Maddie.
I've decided to stay away from run collection.
Yeah.
Oh, you shouldn't do it. It's terrible. It's a terrible hobby, but people do it, and I'm like, I don't know. I just keep looking at some of that shit, and it is like, it just sticks out to me and goes, man, I fucking love it.
The last run that I picked up the Flip, and I have a full run of the Swamp Thing, the one with Alan Moore.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, from 1 to I want to say the second to the last issue, and they were no boards. They were all bagged, but no boards, and they are absolutely pristine. Every single issue, and you could tell the guy just bought it real quick, read it, threw it in a bag and board, and they stayed there for 30 years. But to not have a board in them, and they're all probably 9.4 or better.
Well,
they all just probably stay nice and compressed.
That's my struggle right now, though, because this guy collected runs, and I'm like, I got a Nightwing run from the beginning to end. I'm like, do I want to keep it? Do I want to sell it? I got fucking every Wolverine from volume 1 to volume probably 6. And all this stuff, you're like, I don't really care, but it's like, man, I'll never get it again.
You're changing my mind on collecting runs in 2 minutes.
Yeah, for me, I want to cut down space. Actually, behind me, I have all my books out on the floor, and I just been tossing stuff in a box that I just don't want. Stuff that sells for less than $10. And, I don't want to list it, and stuff that just I don't think has any spec potential anymore. I'm just moving it. So I let go of I used to have a whole bunch of Ultimate titles. That was the only thing I had runs of. Was I had a full run of Ultimate Spider-Man.
I am pretty sure I have Ultimate everything.
Yeah, and I got rid of them all except for Ultimate the first Warrior? Issues for Ultimate X-Men and Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, no Ultimate Warrior in there though.
I tell you what, I did buy a full run on eBay not too long ago. I bought Teen Titans Go fucking 1 to 55 volume 1. I would buy a volume 2.
That's pretty good.
What'd you spend on it?
Maybe $100.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not bad, yeah.
And I've bought most of the second run. I just think that particular title and that run has a little potential in the world just because it is so in my kid's head.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like a lot of people, a lot of kids are going to remember that series now.
Like think about when you were a
and
kid.
what
What
they're gonna-
series was in your head? Spider-Man, Spider-Man,
G.I.
Amazing
Joe.
Friends, Spider-Man,
Batman
Spider-Man, Spider-Man,
animated, Animaniacs, you know.
all that shit. And now, what series has been on TV more than? All right, Spider-Man still might have it by an inch, but it's been 3 or 4 versions. Teen fucking Titans is the #2 series on TV in my head. Like they've had 3 or 4 runs. They're just fucking prominent.
To your point, that's kind of why I was all gung ho about Marvel Rising Alpha last week, specifically just the variant, because that's going to be a show. It's going to be an animated movie. Then they want to turn it into a show. These characters are going to be, this generation's go-to characters. There's going to be a point where some of them, if not a lot of them, are going to cross over into the cinematic universe. So it's not technically a bad book to jump on, for that reason, because I think nostalgia, I mean, it's long term, this book probably
Yeah, you're gonna hold it 20 years.
Not much long term. No, but I think that's playing out now. I think that's what's behind that book a little bit.
What about that Batman series? It was like the latest one where it has the really crazy like anime style.
Oh yeah, the
Batman
Strikes.
Batman Strikes.
Yeah, there's a lot of key books in that series.
Yeah, there's some Harley.
Is that
books.
the NPH Batman?
What's that?
Are we talking the cartoon or the book or both?
The cartoon.
Wasn't that the Neil Patrick Harris Batman?
I don't know.
I just know like very video game.
Yeah, and the Joker's like really crazy.
That's Neil Patrick Harris.
Really?
I think so.
Like he's really over the top.
Yeah.
He did Spider-Man for a while too.
Yeah, there's some interesting people who do voiceover work that you don't realize.
Well, the Harley books in that run are really, really hard to come by, and I know that some of them sell for a crap ton.
That Green Lantern animated series was awesome.
That was one I was disappointed didn't make it.
Yeah.
Because that was solid.
Green Lantern seems to never catch on. I don't know what it is.
No, but it was a good little run. Like they had tied in like enough of like the extended universe. They had Kilowog and a couple people, and like me and the kids were watching, and then it just died.
Yeah, it was like what, 2 seasons?
Yeah, I think so.
Something that came up recently that I thought was amazing is with Jeff Johns, I guess, stepping down to take a more creative role in writing the movies and TV shows, right? Well, he is going to do. He's going to spend a lot of time making sure to put out a decent Green Lantern movie, and if he bases it off of his Green Lantern runs,
oh my god.
Yeah,
a lot of people. I see that. Sorry, I see a lot of people buying those trades, man. In a forum I look at, dude, all the time. Like everybody's buying that Jeff John. It's crazy, dude. Like
I got all 3 volumes of his omnibuses for Green Lantern because it's like his best story arc.
Yes,
Ozzy is highly invested in the Jeff Johns Green Lantern.
It's probably a good thing.
People love it. Yeah. People love Atrocious, and they love
Rebirth was
Dexter.
So amazing.
Dexter.
Yeah. And
there's so many random new characters in there. The reds, the yellow, the oranges. There's just a lot.
And a lot of them are really creepy. That one who's she has the little babies in the cage on her back, and I think she's a Yellow Lantern. What was her name? That's creepy.
I just don't know how many characters can you spec on in a film? How many can be prominent? That's where I struggle. Is like
I don't like specking on film anymore.
Maybe 3 or 4.
I'm just hoping that it's going to be a kick-ass film because Green Lantern is probably my favorite DC character. So
I agree with that. Wow.
Well, his powers have always been my favorite to read and see.
When
I agree.
I got into New 52, I collected with a buddy of mine, and I was like, let's split it. We'll both order like 6 titles and split them. My dumb ass chose Green Lantern and a couple others. He chose Batman and a couple others. I'm like, well, one of us made a wise choice, but one of us made an emotional choice.
Reading wise, that Green Lantern, all the Jeff Johns Green Lantern stuff is just way better than a lot of the stuff that was put out at that time.
That's why I was so excited when they first announced him as like the was it the creative director, whatever the one he just stepped down from. I was like, oh, the movies are going to be good now.
Yeah,
but I think it's a different mentality in movies. I don't even know. It's probably not his fault. He fucking doesn't.
Yeah, well, from what I was reading,
Snyder.
Yeah, what I was reading is Warner Brothers execs above them like pulled rank on him anyways.
Well, that one chick that just stepped down is the one that caused all the problems. That just she shot down a lot of ideas, and she tried to make it like a lot of other, the whole Marvel thing, and they were fighting her constantly, from what I heard.
So was it Jim Lee just took that position that Jeff Johns vacated, I believe?
That doesn't feel like a good fit. Jim Lee's a great artist. I don't think he's a storyteller.
Hello, this is Dr. Fraser Crane. I'm listening.
I got to make up for a Paul's problem because I bailed early last week. But sorry to switch topics. I was waiting for a good moment to hop on. Cutting Z off sounded like the perfect opportunity.
Fuck you, Paul.
Yeah, nailed it.
But so I back in high school I did crew, the rowing sport, which was a lot of fun. But
I didn't know that. You don't look like a crew guy, but okay.
Well, I don't know. That was good. It came like my junior year, so to the school in general. I wish it would have came my freshman year, but anyway, I had a hell of a lot of fun. But one day we were changing into our rowing gear, or whatever the hell you want to call it, and this guy who was a senior took his shirt off, and he had this crazy. Yeah, right. No, he had this crazy red scar. It looked like the I don't know how to pronounce it. That Mesa or Masa blade that can cut Wolverine. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, he had this big red line, like just right down his side. I was just like, and he wasn't like wrapped up. It wasn't bleeding. It wasn't recent, but I probably a little too loud. I was like, I asked him, dude, where'd you get that nasty ass scar? I thought it was interesting. I'm like, what the fuck, man? That's awesome. And he was pretty pissed. He didn't talk to me for the rest of the whole practice, but just no filter in my mouth that day.
How do you practice? Are you like move an oar in the air?
No, if it's raining, they have like the rowing machines, but you just you run like 2 miles, then you go in the boat and just go out and just row. Just do like practice races. It was a really good sport. It was like a full body workout.
Yeah. Do you guys have to like run as a team with like the what do you call it? I don't want to say canoe, but the boat over your head and stuff?
No, those boats are fucking expensive. No, you never run. At least we never ran with boats hoisted over our heads. But yeah, just do like a 2 mile run. Then I don't know, work on the machines if it's raining. Otherwise, go out in the boat and do a practice race or 3.
Me being super fit nowadays and trying to be healthy. What was your mile run there, Chief? 10 minutes? 8 minutes? 6 minutes? What are you trying to run here in a mile?
My 1 mile?
Yeah.
I think I could do back when I could do an 8 minute mile. Maybe.
That's not bad. You're cooking a little bit there.
Yeah.
Fastest I ever ran was Paris Island boot camp graduation, 3 miles, 19 minutes, 46 seconds.
Nice. That's cooking.
I think I hit about a mile at 19 minutes, 46 seconds now.
Yeah.
The fastest I ever ran, I came home from school and there's this big ass fucking bee on the ground, and it was just laying there. So I poked it with a stick and it didn't move, and I was like, whatever, ants will come and eat it. So I walked a few more steps, and then by some miracle of Satan, it was literally right behind my ear, just bzzz, loud as can be, just coming for revenge because I poked it with a stick, and I've never ran. I didn't even feel my legs. I felt like a ghost just floating across the lawn.
Thing about running sucks because it sucks when you're slow, and then when you're faster, it still fucking hurts. You're running faster doing it.
You got to break that wall, baby. Once you break the wall, like I just ran 10 miles a couple weeks ago, and once you break that wall, dude, you're fine. And then just miles become, 5 becomes what's 10, 10 becomes what's 20, 20, So it's all good.
Once you sonic boom.
Yeah, once you sonic boom, it's all good, dude.
Yeah. I like anaerobic, lift weights up, put them down, take a
I've been doing that too. I told you, Brian. I told Paul before the podcast. I'm trying to get super jacked for September, so we'll see if my plan comes to fruition or not.
You and TJ Vaith gonna have a flex off?
Maybe. He'll dance me on the dance.
I want to see you both pound pre-workout before you go into the con like TJ does on his Instagram.
Oh, I can't do that, dude. No, I don't do pre. I don't do any of that stuff. Dude, don't do pre-workouts. Don't do.
He just takes the scoop and puts it in his mouth. Boom.
Yeah.
You guys should do speed dating shirtless.
Oh God. God. That would be interesting.
The dude out there selling water might join y'all.
Yeah. He actually probably get laid before all of us. Guy's a beast. He was super jacked outside too, man. He wasn't messing around.
Hell yeah, you would be too, carrying coolers of water every day in that heat up to the.
Oh shit. I don't know how much we got. A lot more to talk about. I don't think Ben. Maybe we'll save Ben S. Or we're gonna talk. Let's talk about the top 10. I'd rather talk. Let's move to the top 10. I know he's not here, but I think that's a good conversation because I got Matty here. We can talk about it because Matt's here too.
Sure.
Let's talk about the top 10. Ben S put it out. They got some notice. So, anybody want to elaborate on it?
I think Wood put up a pretty cool little video. So let's have Wood do it.
Yeah. So I forget the name of his freaking Ethan Van Sciver's YouTube channel.
Comic Sketch Pro or something like that.
Right.
It's Comic Artist Pro Secrets.
Yeah. He had a big video on there talking about his Cyber Frog, and then he led in and did a spotlight on CBSI's Hot 10 comics, and the number one comic for this past week on the Hot 10 was the original Cyber Frog, and he was super stoked about that. And so he went all the way down from starting at honorable mentions and basically read off each honorable mention and then went from 10 all the way up to 1, reading off each comic off Ben's Hot 10 list. I thought it was interesting because you got the perspective of a comic artist and how they relate what the speculators see and how he may or may not recognize it right away.
Yeah, and how he has no idea what books are doing in the market.
Exactly.
He's like, what's the Spider-Verse character?
I don't want to say it that way because I don't want to sound, I don't know, not to belittle him.
Oh, that Batman cover is cool.
Yeah, he's like, I wish you bought more of those. But it was awesome. So I took, and then he went into the colorist and artist from Cyber Frog drawing. So I basically scaled that down to highlight what he was talking about with the CBSI Hot 10, edited it, and we have it up on the comicbookinvest.com website right now.
That's pretty awesome, though.
Hottest comic in the world.
Yeah. So when they were talking about it, they're also talking about making comics great again. And it just so happened that I had a T-shirt for Make Comics Great Again. So I hit him up. I DM'd him on Twitter and said, "Hey, I like that. If you're interested, I have a T-shirt, and I'd send one out to you." And he was all jazzed about it. So I got a T-shirt going out to him with the Make Comics Great Again.
That's really cool.
It is interesting though that he thought like 1990 to 95 was comics at their greatest.
Yeah.
You almost want to tie him and Valiant together with their most over the top variant ever type thing, and you feel like they're almost on the same wavelength of let's make the most obscene fucking thing we can.
Yeah.
I think that's probably when he was making the most amount of money.
I was going to say, it's also like when creator owned really took off, right?
But he didn't have any of that. I mean, he owned Cyberfrog, but that book was published by a guy from 20 minutes from my hometown in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like I did a con for this guy who just started a con. He has a museum, like a Hall of Heroes is actually a museum now. Like one of the
Is that guy who did Creed? Is that the guy who owns Hall of Heroes?
No, but Creed was also published by them.
Right.
But this guy, like, he's connected. He put on a decent first time con, not like a huge one, but for what it was. But he has like a giant pole barn in the middle of fucking nowhere with all kinds of shit. And he's trying to raise money to move it to a new place because he has, I think, in his words, every comic from the Silver Age on in this collection, or not all. I don't know if it's everyone, but a fuck ton of them. And like you can go reference it, see it, and then he's got all kinds of collectibles and shit, like a Batmobile and an original Batman 66 costume and all this cool stuff, which is really cool. But back then he was into comics and he was the publisher. He helped, people like Van Sciver get a start. Because I found a Cyberfrog one I just sold that had him as the signer, but he was the publisher, and it was strange but cool. It's like, okay, this guy in the middle of fucking nowhere helped some guys get their start. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was perfect timing with everything that's going on, and whether it doesn't matter what you think about the whole, whatever else is going on, but it was just perfect timing to see that happen. And it was like him asking, or you sending him the shirt, and he was all stoked about it, and that was super cool. And then just to bring up the top 10, like it's almost becoming that Wizard-esque.
So what's the
It's
story?
pretty fucking enjoyable for somebody to appreciate being on the top 10.
Yeah.
How many artists has that top 10 kind of like increased their fame tenfold?
I think
Valiant.
Was it Jenny Frison that also like did a shout out on Twitter for it or something?
Frison, Ben Stein did that article for his Art Germ cover collection. He got a sketch out of it.
But he didn't but Art Germ never said top 10. I don't know if Art Germ, but like fucking Matina was made by that thing.
Yeah.
And nobody is like been, hey, that's awesome.
What's
all
the
of Van Sciver stuff has been blowing up right now.
Jack DeMeo gets a lot of credit for that also, because he was running the CBSI Instagram account over the weekend when he was at Heroes Con, and he posted the Hot 10 on Instagram, and he tagged every artist from the Hot 10 in the Instagram post, and I'm pretty sure that's probably how it kind of got back to Ethan Van Sciver.
That's cool.
I think we should start doing that as a standard.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just hard because if you don't already follow them and you're starting to do search to tag them, and there's like 6 of them, and you're like, well, which one's the one? You got back out of your post, cancel it, do a search again, and look at their profile, and then go, okay, create another post. But yeah, so kudos to Jack. And I don't know if you guys saw it on the main page, but Jack's going to be running, him and I are going to post together on that CBSI Instagram account from now on, because he did a kick-ass job over the weekend.
So there's 3 of you between you, him, and Rooster?
Hell yeah.
So what's the story with Cyberfrog? I know nothing about this.
He just was an over-the-top 80s character that happened to be created, and like I think it's just Van Sciver's only like not published known character, and he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go do my own thing.
No, he did a couple other little things, but I don't think they were his character, but it was also his first published work that he ever did. So I was kind of lucky. I showed this to Z, and my whole thing that I collect, I've talked about it before, is creator firsts. Like the first time Frank Miller did Daredevil, or the first time Frank Miller ever did anything. Just all kinds of those creator firsts. And one of the ones that I was lucky enough to pick up back, years ago was the Van Sciver Cyberfrog stuff, the Hall of Heroes one. And he did 2 issues of it, and they were super hard to find. And like Z was saying, it was published out of that little area up there in the Midwest where you guys are at. And same with that Creed book. And those 2 books, Creed and Cyberfrog, at the time just took off, and they were talking about Van Sciver and who was the guy that did Creed? Trent Kuniga or something like that.
Yeah.
They were talking about those two guys like they were the next big things. And
Van Sciver did some nice shit though.
Oh
His
yeah.
Green Lantern covers are awesome.
Yeah. And the cool thing about the Cyberfrog stuff is if you can find it, there's a really rare thing that he released to people. If you bought the issue number 1, they censored one of the pages in that book because basically what happens is one of the characters in the books gets gang raped, and Cyberfrog finds out about it and basically goes and rips this guy apart that did it. And they censored that page because it said gang raped, and he basically it's kind of funny what he does in the comic, because he does that whole thing where they do in cartoons sometimes, like crazy cartoons, where he grabs one of his intestines and he pulls on it really hard and he just spins him around. And they censored that whole page. So I don't know if it was Van Sciver or if it was Hall of Heroes did a thing where you could send in for that page.
I saw one of those on eBay.
Yeah, and not very many people got them, and I was lucky enough to I got 2 full sets. I have issue number 1, issue number 2, and the censored page. And one of the cool things that Van Sciver does is when he signs his autograph, he puts the year every time he signs it. So it's kind of cool. The first set I have has the Van Sciver autograph from way back when, and then I had him autograph another set. But I just thought that was cool that it was such a local publisher, really small print, and whenever something like that pops up and gets hot, it's always cool to find out those little things like that censored page.
There is a page that exists that is still unidentified where it came from. I had a buyer message me with an image of something that Van Sciver confirmed on his Twitter as the first, pages of Cyberfrog. And no one has yet to find where it's from.
Wow.
I gave it to Topher. And Topher's like, fuck, man. He researches shit. I mean, there's some books that he posted that are earlier than Cyberfrog 1 Hall of Heroes. But we have not found the page that this guy sent me.
Wow. That's interesting. I'd like to know about that.
It's going to come up, but it's going to be interesting. I don't think it may be more obscure than fucking First Savage Dragon shit. Just fucking, out of some random fucking place and 200 copies or something.
Like a college newspaper type, Jeff Smith type thing.
Oh, fucking don't talk about that. And fucking Tim Walker and his fucking Thorn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that brings up something cool that I was waiting for Matt to jump on and talk about. I picked up something kind of cool over the last month that I had never seen before, and it just blew me away. In the late 80s, like 89 or so, Nintendo Power released they called it the Get With It kit. And basically what it was it was a Trapper Keeper specifically made to look kind of like a Nintendo SNES, the first Nintendo. And it came with I'm trying to find out. I know it came with at least 1 issue, but for some reason the one I got came with 2 issues. And they all came with 1 issue, and it was issue 6, which was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones that just happens to be J. Scott Campbell's first ever published work. And so it came with 1 copy of Nintendo Power, at least 1 copy, which was issue number 6. It came with 3 highlighters that say Nintendo Power on them, and it came with 2 checklist magazines, which were basically one of them was a checklist of every SNES game, every NES game out at that point. so you could find the game and mark it off your list. And then it also had a list of every game, and if it had some kind of code, whatever the codes were for the game, whether the games were Matt, you might know this. I think it said some games they had a battery in them that could save, or if the game was a code based save. I just got it, so I haven't scanned them yet, but it's pretty cool.
There was a few, yeah. I forget which ones had that code based save. It was yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I thought that that set you got is really awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I couldn't believe it. It actually, the guy basically only opened it so it came with all that stuff, and then it also came with a 12 issue subscription. So the guy that I got it from ended up just opening. I mean, he didn't even tear. There was a cardboard wraparound that goes around the Trapper Keeper that basically you would just tear off when you opened it up. But he actually just slid the cardboard off and then opened the Trapper Keeper and pulled out the 12 issue subscription card, put that cardboard piece on and slid it back on and just put it away and forgot about it and got the subscriptions and yada yada yada. And 20 years later, found it and sold it. And one of the cool things that it came with is it came with the issue number 6. Mine came with issue 6, and I can't remember the other issue, but it's the Joker cover from the '89 Batman, where it's Jack Nicholson as Joker. I can't remember which Nintendo Power it is, but the cool thing about these these issues that were in that Trapper Keeper is they don't have the address and subscription name that most Nintendo Powers have on them. So that's like a thing I remember from people who collect like Sports Illustrated and Playboy magazines, is they like it when they don't have that subscription sticker on there. It makes it, for some reason, it makes it more desirable. And
for some reason, I thought he had all those issues in this binder. Because didn't you have the first one with it?
So yeah, he ended up having. So I ended up talking to the guy, and he ended up having an issue 1 also. So I don't know if issue 1 came with it, but I got the issue 1 from him also. So I ended up getting an issue 1, beautiful condition, an issue 6, and issue. I got them right here. I'll grab them here in a second. But the Joker issue, and then the Trapper Keeper and everything with it. And if you ever get a chance, it's really cool. It was something that kind of we were talking earlier on the show about having that collecting bug, and it's kind of pulled me in, whereas Scotty's being pulled into the card collecting, and so is Z, card collecting. I'm kind of jumping into this whole Nintendo swag, cool little freebies or hard to find promotions that they started doing.
I just think that's a sub niche that you have to really be fucking dialed into.
It's fun.
I mean,
man.
well, nostalgia's playing big time. Like we were talking about, and then we got onto a kick about all about Nintendo Power, and Nintendo Power 1 is a beast of a book. There's so few graded. And the ones that do get graded and sold, I think the highest one that's been sold was a 9.0, and
which is crazy.
It was
how
like
is that possible?
$500. It was $600, something like that.
How is a 9.0 the highest there is?
People, it's really hard to find. And then there's a subclass. There's the free the free version. There's the number 1 that says like free poster inside. And then there was like a giveaway one that says free trial, or something like free sample or something like that.
Where they were probably handing them out to see what people thought of them before they decided. And
there's those you can't find it. There's a really really beat copy currently on eBay. And it's I think $75, and it looks like it's maybe if you had to grade it, probably 2.0.
So I guess some of those Nintendo Powers, they used to have like a mini Mario comic in them or something.
Yeah, well, they have a comic in them. There's these two characters.
Okay.
It's a comic
And,
strip. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
a comic
yeah.
strip.
Because I get Game Informer from GameStop, and they always have like what's coming out, and on the right hand side, I saw they have like almost like a trade paperback or hardcover, I guess, with that collects all those that's coming out.
Yeah, that was actually in the article that did Topher work with you, Matt, on it? So Topher worked with somebody.
No. Topher. That was all Topher.
Okay, yeah, that was amazing, and that was where he kind of said the first appearances of like Mega Man and Link, and a lot of the first appearances actually are from that comic little
strip,
that comic strip in Nintendo Power. And the funny thing is, the other one that I got, the Joker cover one, I believe, is the one with the Link first appearance of Link. So
what's
you ever see that?
That old Valiant Nintendo comics, that shit is hard to find.
That's on my. That's the other. When we were talking earlier, that's one of the books on my Grail list. I'm looking to pick that up. That's a really cool book, and
you can find a few, but to find a high grade one is insane.
I don't know if it's Walker. I think Walker has one. There's somebody that has one for a decent amount of money on there right now.
I got a 9.0.
Is that you?
It's not listed. I got a 9.0. Walker's got it. Walker has a raw that's looks pretty clean. I don't know. That book, you can't even. I've had a few, and it is a bitch of a book.
Do you plan on keeping yours, or?
I'm undecided.
If you ever decide not to, let me know.
I traded a PGX 9.4 at one point in life. But that's a real tough fucking thing to swallow as a PGX 9.4. Fuck, who knows this? But there's a 9.6, which is the highest I've ever seen. Might be the highest graded, I think, for some crazy money. And I'm like, I still think about that bitch.
Yeah, that's a tough book. And like,
I haven't looked at that book for 3 years. Like Walker told me about it. I'm like, I'm gonna hunt it down. You can't find it.
Yeah, I've been trying.
I've seen 6 in my life.
What book was this?
Yeah, what book was it?
The Valiant preview?
That Nintendo preview Mario on the yellow cover.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you'll find a few, but they're beat as shit. But to find a nice one, holy shit, there aren't many.
Right.
And that 9.6 potentially could stay the nicest one.
There's 2 on eBay that are always, the same 2 on eBay, and I'm always thinking about pulling the trigger on the raw one, but
that's Walker's.
Yeah. So
9.6 is big money, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
So with that said,
I don't know if there's another one.
There's a big draw to all this Nintendo stuff. I honestly think it's just a matter of time before people start getting into going after Wizard 1.
Yeah.
Because
I've been looking
at that
too.
It's a McFarlane cover, and all these McFarlane covers, these like comic magazines that have, they're really like nothing magazines, but they have the McFarlane Spidey on the front end. They've jumped up to, what was the one?
Comic Scene #2.
Yeah, Comic Scene #2. Perfect example. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Like, if that could jump up, there's a San Diego Comic-Con version of Wizard 1.
Yeah.
And it's pretty affordable. I mean,
it's like $60, right? 60.
It's hard to find in good condition, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, because these were passed out on a convention floor, and then people read these things.
Wizard was like amazingly just. It blew up the world.
So Wizard is one thing that I buy on a regular basis. If I can find it for $2 or less, I probably have 4 long boxes of Wizards. And
oh shit!
Yeah,
4 long boxes.
I swear to God, yeah.
They're all individuals.
They're all not all individuals, but there's certain duplicates that I buy. I like to get unopened. There's 4 or 5 Adam Hughes covers. There's some really cool J. Scott Campbell ones. There's a J. Scott Campbell one, which is one of my all-time favorite J. Scott Campbell covers, where it's Wolverine fighting Snake Eyes, and I probably have 5 or 6 of that.
Yeah, what number is that? Do you remember?
Yeah, I'll give that to you right now. I'm pulling him up right. I'm grabbing him as we're talking. There's also another J. Scott Campbell one, which is really cool, where it's he does a cover and it's Spawn and Batman, I want to say, and then he has one where it's Batgirl, the Cassandra Cain Batgirl, and it's starting that whole female J. Scott Campbell type look. And here we go. Let's see here.
There's also there's a wizard. I forget what number it is. But there was one. It was the only time Campbell's done Spawn.
Yeah, that's the one. The Batman one I'm talking about. It's Spawn and Batman.
No, it was a different. I guess this is a different one. I think it has Spider-Man on the front. Let me see if
maybe it's Spawn and Spider-Man. That's it. It's.
Can I tell you, McClay and DeVoe cost me more money than anybody fucking else in the world.
Man,
buy
I just love talking.
And Archie. Buy Archie Comics, guys.
Yeah, I love talking comics, man. I love talking. This collectible stuff. It's
I mean, this is the outlier stuff. When you're like you and I get excited about this stuff. There's a lot of people that are spending big bucks to get like some of this stuff in high grade, and we're not the only ones. It's going to start trickling out. Other people are going to recognize it. Then people are going to be chasing this stuff.
There's a comic book store.
You guys are smart. You guys are fucking on the edge.
There's a comic book store right now that's by my house that has an Amazing Spider-Man 688 Campbell variant.
Those books are starting to rise too.
9.6 CGC. He wants $751 for it.
For 688?
Yeah.
That's quite a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going for 800s, I think. No, graded. Graded 9.6.
800. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong book. That's the
that's the Lizard book.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of something else. Yeah.
I'm not paying for that.
Well, another cool thing that Wizard did is this is one of my favorite ones to pick up is they did a series of Wolverine covers where they had big name artists kind of like do their own interpretation of the famous Wolverine covers. There's like Joe Quesada, John Cassaday. There's a bunch of them, and they do like the famous one where he's holding the claws, and you see a reflection in the claws. There's another one where he's just holding the claws in his face. I forget which cover that is, but there's like four from that series. Here we go. The J. Scott Campbell one is number 97. That's where he's got Spider-Girl and Batgirl, the Cassandra Cain Batgirl on it. That's a Wizard number 97. Mm-hmm. That's a amazing. It's a really good book. And then the Spider-Man Spawn one is Wizard number 62 from 1996. And that's like Matt was saying, that's the only time he ever did Spawn. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And then my favorite one is 126, and that's Snake Eyes fighting against Wolverine. Really kick-ass cover. I'm a big fan of Campbell's, non-female covers because they're not as, drowned out with. There's just a lot of crap. His long torso stuff is starting to get really old to me, and it's cool when you can find some of the ones that a lot of people don't think about.
Well,
but
so on a sidetrack, I've been looking at a lot of 90s books in my life right now because, I have fucking 20,000 of them. And I just want to know who the fuck let Sam Keith do covers?
Man, there's some of his Wolverine stuff in that Marvel Comics Presents that was really good at the time.
Man, but I look at it and go, my God, it's fucking terrible. And there's an announcement that IDW is doing new Max, and there's all that shit. But I'm like, I find it almost hideous to look at now.
Yeah,
my shop has the Venom Keith variant, and it was for $30, and I stared at it. And I'm like, I don't know.
Isn't that just a
Like,
reprint?
Is that Mark? What's
He's so like it's so bad. I look at the Wolverines like there's a run of Wolverine that you had to buy and own that just looks terrible.
Yeah.
that? Oh yeah, that Wolverine was really
There's
bad.
like 10 issues that are just. I was bagging them. I bagged and boarded fucking every comic owned in the 90s, and it just hurt my soul a little bit to look at them.
He did some Batman too at one point,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
There's a lot of artists that have done a few terrible covers, but my God, I think he's done more than his share. I just don't know how.
Well, there's-
I just don't know how was he popular. I understand McFarlane. I understand goddamn Liefeld. But Keith is so out there that all of them you look at are like, God damn, what are you doing? It's not good to look at.
No.
There's a lot of that early stuff that is just Jay Lee, some of his early Namor stuff when he was first getting out. That stuff's terrible too.
Oh, I should probably go track it down. I don't know. This stuff's just offensive to me to look at. Like, I'm like, what's amusing to me right now is my 6-year-old is in love with comic covers right now. He is fucking loving them. He's like, Dad, find me a great this character. And I'm going through, 100 issues going, here, this is a great one. He's like, that's awesome. And he looks at some of these, he's like, oh, that's bad, Dad. That's bad. I don't like it. I'm like, yeah, neither do I.
I love kids' honesty.
Yeah, and you're like, if a 6-year-old now can't look at it and go, that's awesome, it's not good.
Wear his feet, Dad.
Yeah, it's not good, Dad. My kids started collecting ocean/shark covers. So if anybody has a shark cover or an ocean cover,
Did you buy it? Did you get him a Superboy
did
cover?
you get it? Or the Aquaman cover?
So we were at the LCS. I did not pre-order a Middleton, and some asshole was picking his up that day, and he saw it. He's like, "I need the Jabberjaw." So I ordered one for $12. But if anybody has a great shark cover or ocean cover that they want to recommend, send it to us so I can put it on the list to buy. Because he is obsessed. He wants to put ocean cover or shark covers on his wall. So you know what? If he loves fucking comics, I don't care what he loves. I want him to embrace it.
If you loved him, you would get him a Mondo Jaws poster, and they're only about $1,200.
Only. I love him, and I found him an extremely cheap in my own box of 20,000 comics that I didn't own before. Hulk fighting sharks, and he's like, "Holy shit, Dad, that's the coolest comic I've seen." And I said, "Yes, it is."
Oh yeah, wasn't that Hulk #2?
I have no
It
fucking
was
idea.
like from like the 2015 series.
Yes, that's a number two. You're right.
Yeah.
That I found him a very.
I think it's Silvestri too.
I found him a very nice cover a few weeks ago of Aquaman fighting King Shark. That is beautiful, and he loves.
You need a Thundercats 15.
Nice.
Side note: Thundercats Wildstorm. If you can put sets together, sells for some money.
Spidey Story, Super Story 16. I just sent you a link on the side of the chat too for like the most ridiculous shark covers, which is kind of awesome in its own self.
There's an outstanding Conan Savage Tales that I need to find, but that's a little more collectible.
Street Sharks #1. Street Sharks, all that was badass back in the 80s.
He said, "I want to do an ocean."
Of Fonzie.
Well, he walked with me and goes, "Dad, I want my room to be ocean themed, but comic."
Wonder Woman 101, dude. She's wrestling this big ass shark. It's awesome. It's like on the side of an airplane too. I think it looks like. I don't know. It's undersea or something. I don't know.
But I mean, like, if he wants comics to be in his room theme, who am I to say fuck, kid. No,
Yeah.
no, fuck, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
The problem is, I think you're more pumped than he is.
That's my boy.
That's my boy.
One of you loves your dad.
Uh,
Let's embrace it.
There's like a whole mess of Jaws homage. Like there's a Get Craven, there's a
Nightcrawler.
Deadpool.
was a
Yeah,
Nightcrawler
that's
too.
a shit. We are gonna have 50 comics of sharks and ocean, and fucking his mom is gonna be so pissed at me.
Look at this one. It's a Heroes for Hire Marvel Variant Edition number 5. It's like a Jaws homage. It has Thor on it. Look at this thing.
Just send them all because we were gonna buy them all for $1 a piece and put them on his goddamn wall. And his mom,
Jaws. There we go. Jaws tribute things. Here's a link.
my wife might divorce me, but he is gonna fucking.
Oh, they got a Mad Magazine one. Look at this stuff, man. This is dude, you're gonna love it. I sent it on the side. This is awesome. I'm kind of stoked about this. I like the Thor one. That's kind of dope.
The Hulk one is the most magnificent one I've seen, I think.
Ooh, the Pacific Rim one is sweet.
Oh shit! There's so many. We're just gonna fucking have 50 of them.
Let me see if I can find it.
Titanic.
You're gonna walk into your room, your kid's gonna be flopping around on the bed. You're gonna be like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "I can't swim, Dad."
If your kid embraces comics, are you gonna say no? Fuck no. You're like, I'm in, kid. Especially if it's like, I can get these all for $2 each. Yes, we are in. And you, my son, are inheriting whatever the best comic I own in 20 years is.
And then you can start using him to search through long boxes.
No, I think he's playing a long con here. I think he's just trying to be obsessed so he can get that most valuable comic from the rest of the boys.
The oldest one used to be the smartest, and like, yeah, I'll go with you, Dad. Now he gets bored. The youngest, I went to the shop a few times, and he's found out there's a 50-cent bin. The shop gets a little annoyed, but he will go pull through that shit and like leave shit everywhere. But then I say, I'll fix it, and they go, no, I've got staff to put that shit back.
Some of the King of the Comics, some of these comic ones from this Jaws one, like the Japanese Godzilla one's kind of dope, man. God,
that Hulk one is sweet.
Oh, you saw the number 2?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful fucking little shutter.
There's a variant for it. There's a variant for that one too. That's like black and white.
Does it have sharks?
For number 2. Yeah, for the shark one.
There's like a sketch?
Yeah, there was a variant for it.
Oh, fuck me. God damn it, guys. Don't cost me more money.
You asked for it.
What year did that Hulk come out?
I don't know.
2015, I think.
Well, they'll tell me where this guy stopped collecting right around then.
Because
I just sorted this weekend 20 short boxes of Marvel comics into not title, character, and it took me 4 hours, and I still have another 20 to do.
You got 60 long boxes left?
Oh, that's of Marvel. I sorted them. I spent the first month sorting them from Marvel, DC, and other. And I then went through DC and realized I missed a box somewhere. Because I know the New 52 should be complete. So this weekend for Father's Day, I spent 4 hours sorting Marvel comics into character, not title, because fucking title is insane. Because how many titles has Thor had and Marvel or Iron Man and X-Men had? And then I realized I thought I was getting close. I'm like, God damn it, I got 15 left. I've been doing this 4 hours. I'm done. So I got to spend another weekend just to get them by character, by Marvel.
That's crazy.
I just sent you the Hulk 2 sketch, the one that sold.
How much was it?
1 and 2.
It looks like it was like 150-ish.
Oh, okay.
But it's really, really hard to find.
There's a second print variant too. The second print cover too of that also.
Yeah, I just sent a picture of both those to the Flipside hangout.
Wait, so the sketches of 1 and 200?
Yeah.
God damn it, guys!
Maybe they get a shark article up soon.
Yeah, get an ego to get one of those every shark cover known to man.
Yeah.
It used to be plentiful. Like you could find that pretty easy, and you just never see it anymore. And I know because I like that cover. I've been looking for it.
Well, don't tell my kid then.
You know what you need to do?
You won't have to know.
The next Comic-Con you need to do, you need to have somebody draw the hawk and a shark together on like do a cover, like at Artist Alley or something.
That'd be cool.
That'd
Get
be
him
really
into
cool.
sketches.
I mean,
You should get
Get
Mike Romero.
Adam Hughes to do like a really sexy like Catwoman riding a shark.
that would be kind of dope.
Getting eaten by a shark would be even better. But I'd probably give him nightmares.
That is one sexy shark.
See, my favorite place has it. Let's see. This ought to be interesting. It has really legit stuff. What year is that from? Like,
You mean Leggett?
let's see.
Yeah, the Hulk 2000.
God damn it! I don't need a 1 in 200.
It's a 2011 fourth series.
You're lucky. I got a 2A. Damn it. Interesting. Yeah.
I could have 08 done cheaper than a fucking 1 in 200.
I don't know. I was looking at something today, some old articles that came up because of the forum, and they were talking about, rare variants that, people just don't know about, being so rare. And sometimes you get lucky on those things and you find them for $20, $15 a pop, just because nobody knows about them.
Oh,
Speaking of old articles, Dino and I were adjacent to a CBSI interview of Ethan Van Sciver 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, I read that. That was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Mr. Nebo, and I believe Dino and I both have some autographs from that event.
Maybe. I don't think so. I might have got rid of it.
I know I have a Firestorm 1 New 52 from that.
Yeah. I think I got one of those too, but I don't know. I could have got lost in the shuffle of 25 cons.
But it is fun to think that was our first show.
It was in, oh god, the amount
Cyberfrog came up in that interview.
It did, because Nebo loved it and talked about it, and Mr. Tim Walker wrote about it in one of his few rare interviews of the impossibles, quote, is what he used to call it, of things that he has looked for a long time and never found.
Mm-hmm. Which is probably impossible because he's a master of finding stuff.
Yeah, I only had several copies that I maybe sold this week because Ozzy is in the town of the publisher. So there were probably a unrealistically high percentage of those books in that city that happened to just get resold a few times.
Yeah, I can't believe that was our first con too. And it was a good interview too, and he was really nice about it, and like Ethan was just really nice about the whole situation. Like, he wasn't dickish. He like spent time with Nebo, because I remember it was like 30 or 40 minutes he was out there just talking.
And Nebo was not prepared, and we were dumb and stupid and didn't do shit.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's better than probably talking about the same stuff he talks about every day. Like,
I am willing to bet, though, 3 years ago, a comic creator getting interviewed was fucking like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, rarity at best.
Not that we were a reputable site, but it's still like, hey, you want to talk to me about something? All right, cool.
Yeah, and I think it passes his day a little bit faster too.
True.
He does some really good sketches. If you ever get a chance and you get a sketch, sketch cover from him that he actually doesn't do in marker. The marker ones aren't as good, but if he does it like pen or pencil, he does some really killer sketches.
I still think the Van Sciver 1 in 25 Batman New 52 is so underrated.
It is.
At one point, it was selling for half the price of the non-variant.
And then there is an Batman Eternal one too. Is it an Eternal? Yeah.
I probably bought and sold some. I wish I had a 9.8. I don't know. I'd probably will not get one now because I'm sure they're skyrocketing out of the world as everything else he does is. But to me, that was all right. The first print was a great cover,
Correct.
but that was a pretty solid fucking variant.
I think by far his best variant he ever did though is the Batman #9.
Oh, yeah.
Green Lantern
Lantern?
Oh
#9.
yeah. That one's beautiful, which also was criminally undervalued.
Yeah, and not anymore.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for like past 2.5 years, it's kind of gone up.
You could have got it for like $100 for 9.8.
No.
Oh, man.
it's actually it's going
that's
down.
raw.
Ethan Van Sciver, original art. Oh man.
I almost bought a splash page from Cyberfrog 1 a year ago and talked myself out of it because I'm like,
The original art.
yeah, the first the splash page for the Fly, which I would think was 8 and 9, which is the main villain from the series. His first splash. I almost bought it for like $300 at Comic Link last year, and I thought, why am I bidding on this shit? This is dumb. There's no chance this will be collectible.
I would have, but again, I would have said the same thing, dude. If you would have told
Flash forward a year, you're like, oh, well, fuck, that was dumb.
me. Look at that dopeness.
Well, I mean,
It's,
this just goes back to like if you like it, other people are going to like it.
I understand, but you're like,
It's
That's
just
a
Ethan
long
Van
shot,
Sciver
man.
has been a great artist, but fucking cold.
Yes.
right,
He has been
yeah.
fucking. He's like Ross. We talk about Ross being like he's a great artist.
Great artist. Cold. Can't sell shit.
There is
man.
nothing that
Yeah.
peaks. And Skyver, you have loved that Green Lantern fucking Batman for years. It hasn't went anywhere. He has had
Nope,
a
it has
number
to
of covers
stay.
that are fantastic, and you're like, they don't go anywhere. You're like, why would I spend
buddy.
$500 on this original art?
I got
Oh.
you. I got you for sure right now, dude. It's a Teen Titans 17 cover with Red Robin, Guardian, and Beast Boy. It's only $999, dude. I'm gonna talk you into this from 2015. It's not bad looking.
Did you just post it? Oh,
Yeah.
wait, there it is. I see it. I see it. I see it. Not doing it.
Yeah, buddy.
You buying
Come
that
on.
right now, Steve?
No, I've made poor decisions this week already.
Oh, what's one more? What's one
Take a
more?
page out of the Brian Wood book, man. $47 a month for 24 months. It's yours.
Yeah. Yeah, what's that? Where's that PayPal credit? Yeah, $47 a month, bro.
I bought a couple great books this week. I'm good.
This would be a topper. It's not even Wednesday.
So really quick, I posted in the Hangouts, but I'm gonna throw up. I probably end up throwing up a forum, do the new pickups forum thing. Still haven't done that, and I probably ought to pick that up and show some of these books, these covers from these wizards, and some of these other books that we've been talking about during the podcast. I'll put a link of that on the G Plus page, but.
Man, I looked at that censored page today.
Yeah, there's a really cool cover that a lot of people don't talk about, and it's another comic scene cover, and it's from July 1990. I just picked this up the other day, along with a really cool Spider-Man poster book, but it's a McFarlane cover of Comic Scene Spectacular, and it's he on the cover is Batman and Spider-Man, and I don't think I've ever seen that. Have you guys seen that anywhere else? I put it in the Hangouts if you guys want to take a look at it, but I've never seen that anywhere else. I think that might be the only place that it's on. So earlier, let's see here, what year? 1990. So right as the Spider-Man craze was for #1 was starting, I think, right?
That actually makes me think of when I see that cover. It reminds me how undervalued Batman 423 is.
Oh, that's one of those books that you pick up every time you see it, and you hope to God it's in good grade, because that's a really hard book to find in high grade.
It's probably the best Batman. One of my favorite Batman covers. And then there's also a really, really rare price variant for it. DC only did, I think, on 2 or 3 books, dollar Canadian price variants, and that was one of the books they did.
That makes sense.
And they're super, super hard to find. They rarely pop up.
Yeah, what's funny is the Spawn homage variants that he did. That homage he did for that Batman cover sells for a crap ton too. He did an homage,
and his signature is really cool on there.
It is how it's on like the scroll.
It was on like a little bat, like is in little bat signal.
Yeah,
on the Batman cover.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I only have one of those.
Tough to find in high grade.
Yeah, no kidding.
Interesting. All right, boys. We're going on for a while, man. I think we're gonna call it a night, right, boys?
Yeah, it's
About that time.
Been an hour and a half.
Almost to the 3-hour mark.
We're just rolling out right now. And FYI, I didn't know Jenny Friesen was going to be at Baltimore.
Ooh.
So might be interesting there. All right, boys. 2 weeks, so that's like what? Well, it's July 4th weekend, kind of ish. So we might play that one by ear. But okay, boys, we'll talk to everybody later. So it's number 36. So I fucked it up. All right, boys.
See ya.
Night all.